Well, the opening day, baseball finally here as the Phillies tap it off today in Washington against the Washington Nationals, a season that, we've talked about now for several days leading into this season and what it means, what could it be. They're a good team, okay? We know the Phillies are a good team. We don't want to introduce any panic to the fan base, but there are a lot of people that think, well, maybe this team has gone to the post one too many times with the same type of premise. And when you go there, things can kind of just fritter away, get chiseled away, and you start to lose your mojo as a championship contender, and you hang in there and you make the wild card. But maybe their best days are over. I don't know about that. There's reason to think the opposite. There's reason to think because with this pitching staff, if it stays healthy now, if it stays healthy all year, and I've got my questions about that, but if the starting staff stays healthy, if the hitters do what they've done, they're not going to change. We're not going to see any kind of evolution of these hitters where they're taking more pitches or they're putting more balls in play. They are what they are. They're an offensive team. Every one of them is a defined offensive player who can give you production. So they're good. 1 to 9, they're pretty good. They're going to produce runs. The starting pitching is pretty good. The back end of the bullpen is pretty good. The middle, I don't know. And the depth, I don't know. So as we sit here right now, there are a lot of people predicting nationally that the Phillies are better than what we predict here. And I think it's only because we are afraid. We look at this situation and we go, okay, how many times can we count on them being up there as a World Series contender? And I'm a little afraid. So wake me up in October when they actually have to achieve in the playoffs. And I guess when you look at it that way, you're kind of shirking the entire season and you're going through the motions in the entire season. And in a lot of ways, you can't enjoy it through the entire season. But I'm pumped for the Phillies. I watch every inning. I watch every pitch of every game. I love baseball. I love that it's here. And I think the Phillies are going to get off to a really good start in Washington and then move on. And we'll see about this pitching staff. There are a lot of people that look at the staff. They don't allow for attrition and injury. And I believe with this Ranger Suarez situation, it could be a precursor to them trying to fill in like they did last year certain starting positions. And Luzardo's in the same mode. Luzardo is a guy, he's been hurt. So, to think that he's going to go through an entire season healthy as one of the starters, we'll see. And dare I say this, I know Aaron Nola is a consistent pitcher. But Aaron Nola is now 32 years old. And I just wonder if Aaron Nola could be that consistent number 2, where he gives you a quality outing 2 of every 3. So that's what I'm worried about. I know they're good. I've got no problem looking at this team. I'm not going to be down on the Phillies. I think this is going to be a playoff team, even if they don't win the division. But there are a lot of people that think they will win a division, including some experts in baseball. So we will talk about this today. And I want to know how you guys feel about this. Have we underrated the Phillies in this city, while others outside the city rate them pretty high? Bill Colarulo, fresh off of last night, a championship, representing the station champion for last night's knockout on the Wells Fargo floor after the Sixers played last night. The overall winner was a 13-year-old young lady. Congratulations to her. But, Bill, you slayed them all. You slayed Ray Dunn. You slayed Connor Thomas. You slayed Andrew Salciunas. You slayed, who else? Ricky Metallico. Yeah, you slayed all of them. They paled in comparison. They fell at your feet, Bill. How do you feel about that?
Was there ever a doubt, Mike? I mean, come on now. Like, I got to come on here every day and tout my athleticism. I said I had not shot a basketball since last year's knockout tournament, and that was true. Yesterday morning, Coach Missanelli met me at the parking lot basketball court. We shot maybe 10 shots, Mike. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. I took 10 shots yesterday morning. I get on the Wells Fargo court last night, and I think I dropped about 11 straight before I missed one, and then I got the layup, of course. But you're talking to the station champ. No doubt about it. And you're going to hear the excuses. Ray's got excuses.
Well, hold on a second.
Salciunas has excuses.
Because before we get to our Philly chat, we got to inform the people at the side. There are allegations There are allegations. Now, they weren't checked on the replay last night. We didn't have that system up last night where the officials went over to the bench to see whether it's flagrant foul or a violation on you in some form. Ray Dunn is with us today. Ray, you got eliminated last night, and you took it pretty far.
Great showing by Ray, though. We'll give him credit. We were the final two.
All right, so there you go. You were the final two. Bill slayed you. But what are the allegations, Ray?
Well, there are a lot of people that are upset, one, with the fact that Bill did not have white-soled shoes, which were part of the rules to get on the court.
They were the rules.
So that's a tough look for Bill off the jump. Now, talking about the replay and what we looked at last night, Bill this morning was claiming that he was trying to shoot his layup and a basketball came for his head, which is why he deflected the ball away. We went to the replay today, which you can see on our Instagram at 97.5 The Fanatic, and it is quite clear that a ball came off the rim while Bill was nowhere near his basketball, and he took his right hand and just smacked that basketball away so he could retrieve his ball, put the layup in, and stay in the game. Thus,
excuses.
Keeping him alive.
Well, wait. Tape don't lie.
Yeah.
So is that what the tape shows?
That is what the tape shows.
That he swatted it away? Did he do it in self-defense?
He did not do it in self-defense.
Listen,
for a guy we hear about who's so bulky and big and could take anyone, there's no way that basketball was hurting Bill.
When the ball was coming towards me, it's completely in my right to swat it out of my purview so I can get my layup, and that's what I did.
The ball was not in your hands. You were not going for a layup. You were trying to knock the ball away so you could retrieve yours first.
We got a new song in the YouTube chat. Colarulo knows how to shoot. Colarulo knows how to shoot.
Be clear,
anyway.
my odds did have him as the best station.
Yeah,
you did.
Employee.
You predicted it.
So,
well, look, this isn't about me today, Ray. This is about the fighting Phils. Okay, this is about the Phillies because today is a beautiful, beautiful day, and not only because I'm sitting here as the station champ. That just adds to it. But it's a day of hope. It's a brand new season. And, Mike, to your point that nationally they have the Phillies ranked higher than locally, you're right. And I think what fans are forgetting, and I even remind myself of this is a baseball team that won 95 games last year. And on paper, and I know it's only on paper, I would say that this year's team is better than last year's team. I think Max Kepler is an upgrade in left field from what you had last year. I think the starting rotation is upgraded from what you had last year. I'm expecting a big season from Jose Alvarado and Jordan Romano in the bullpen. I think this team is going to be better than last year's team. Now, I don't know if they'll win as many games. I'm predicting that they hit it right on the head at 95. But I do think we are forgetting that this is a very good baseball team, and we are so blinded by what happened in October, and I get it, that we are forgetting how good this lineup is and how good this pitching rotation is.
All right. There's a lot of people that think the same that you just said. A lot of people nationally. A guy named Jim Bowden. Jim Bowden's got the Phillies winning the division. So he's got them better than the Braves. He's got a win total pretty significant. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look over every player and what the projections are for every player. Since we're all into AI these days, since they all go into the analytics and they look at the graphs and all this kind of thing, they feel scientifically you can accurately predict someone's production based on what they are and what they've done and what they're going to do in the future. So we're going to go through all of that today. We're going to get this Philly team buttoned down from stem to stern.
We got a monster show today, too, Mike.
We do have a monster show. At 12:15, Stephen A. Smith, fresh off a couple controversies, will be on the program today.
Stephen A. will be on the program?
Steve. I actually reached out to him a couple days ago. Reached out to him again last night. He said, yep, he's in. So hopefully that comes through at 12:15. And then the governor of the state of Pennsylvania wants to talk about Philly opening day because he's all jacked up about the Phillies.
So Josh from Juniata will be joining the show.
Josh from Juniata joins us at 1:30 on the show today.
And then we also are going to have to discuss the massive news dump by the Flyers on a Phillies opening day.
Play the horn, Ray.
Hit it, Ray.
Play the horn. Hit it. There we go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't know how many people care about this, but we will take your calls on it because I want to hear from Flyer fans. They lauded this guy when he was hired. They lauded him through a thick and thin, and now the Flyers cut ties with John Tortorella. Gone. I thought they would last the season with him. They'd bump him upstairs. They'd get a younger coach to handle a younger team. But no, what he said the other day was probably
that was the nail in the coffin.
It was the nail in the coffin. It was the doomsday.
Yeah, he couldn't survive those comments. And when you heard him, it made everybody kind of, whoa, what did he just say?
Yeah.
I think that was the final straw.
So the tort experiment, did it pay any dividends? I didn't see any. There are some people here that say it paid major dividends. There's one host here who really is a big fan of John Tortorella, and he thinks that John Tortorella was the perfect coach for this era. I'm not so sure about that, Bill.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards your viewpoint on this. I didn't think Tortorella did that great of a job. I know last season they were competing towards the end, but then they lost 8 straight with only 11 games to play. That drops them out of a playoff spot. And then you've seen this year, now they've lost 11 of 12. Look, let's look forward to the future. A lot of hope today. We got hope for the Flyers, but we got big hopes for our fighting Phils.
Yeah, but we're going to hear some Flyer fans. If you want to climb in, 610-632-0975. I want to hear from you. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on a beautiful Thursday. Back after this.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Patel.
So, first of all, we didn't mention, and let me laud the Sixers last night. I'm going to tell you something. They're starting to win me over. A must-loss situation that they engineered beautifully last night. The mindset is completely different. Now we're engineering losses. And you know how you engineer a loss to the worst team in the NBA, the Washington Wizards? Here's how you engineer the loss. You bring up two guys that I have never, ever, ever heard of, and you give them a combined 34 minutes of playing time, Marcus Bagley and Philip Wheeler. You put them on the floor for 35 minutes. In addition to that, you play Ricky Council for 34 minutes and Jeff Doughton for 28 more. That is how you engineer a loss to the Wizards. And I got to give them this.
Great
Congratulations to Daryl Morey and to Nick Nurse and the 14 assistants who looked at this game and said, how can we lose to this Mutt team? Hey, let's bring up a couple 10-dayers. Marcus Bagley, who? It doesn't matter. Put a uniform on. Put Philip Wheeler. We're going to play these guys. It's 35 minutes. First guy's off the bench. That's how you do it, Bill. It's brilliant.
It was an absolute perfect night at the Wells Fargo Center last night because you're right. It was kind of a close game. You know, it got a little hairy at the end, but they end up losing the game. But maybe just as important, the bricking for chicken last night. The Wizards missed 6 free throws.
Not only that,
12 chickens.
You lose to the Wizards and you get a 12-pack.
A 12-piece.
A 12-piece with the highlight of the night. I'm at the arena last night. I'm going, oh my God, look at this! Look at all these poor kids that don't know any better, and they're cheering the Sixers on, and they're cheering the Nuggets, and it was just a festive occasion for the kiddies who can now get tickets for $1 to come into that arena to watch a basketball game. I felt good for the kids last night, rooting them on.
Yeah, and they get the chicken. It was weird, though, because after my knockout performance, Daryl Morey said they were considering letting me come up for a game, but I'm too good.
Well, let's see.
I may win. I may win too many games
let's
for him.
see. Justin Edwards was 1 for 4 last night from 3-point. Ricky Council. See, Ricky can really shoot it.
Come on now, with the sarcasm. He went one for 8.
Ricky was 1 for 8, and Jeffy Doughton, my other buddy, decided to go 1 for 3, and then Philip Wheeler.
Who?
He used to pitch for the Phillies, and now he moved again. He signed a 10-day with the Sixers.
Who is he?
Wheeler, and he goes 0 for 5. Yeah, it's funny last night because I was down at the knockout, and I'm sitting behind the basket, right where the players went in to go to the locker room. And Wheeler must have had some family there. Oh, and they're all excited.
Oh, that's nice for him.
Yeah, they're taking pictures of the kid.
Did he break down crying like Cam Smith?
He break down crying, but he was, I'm going, what has frickin' happened? What has happened? Now we get players who now they bring their whole family here from every state just because they played in an NBA game. And this is what the Sixers are right now.
What I couldn't stop looking at. Did you see Andre Drummond's slippers that he was wearing on the court?
No.
Ray, did you happen to notice Andre Drummond, what he was wearing?
I did not.
Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe they're like super expensive. He was wearing slide-on slippers that had literally no sole at all. Like what you would almost get if you got a pedicure.
Yeah.
Like that thin. Oh, it was weird to see a 7-foot man wearing that on a basketball
court. It was
court.
nice that the fellas came out to the court towards the end. Joel with his gray sweatsuit, the patented gray sweatsuit. Kyle Lowry with the patented hat. And Max had the hair tied back, I think, last night. He was out there trying to root him on in the last few minutes after those guys were probably playing cards all night in the locker room.
So we'll see now, though, with another loss. They're sitting there tied with the Brooklyn Nets with the 5th worst record in the NBA. They keep this up. Any chance they could catch the Pelicans? Only 3 back.
I think that they are firmly in that top 6 of the worst. So I'm good there.
Yeah, they're 3 up on the Raptors.
The way they played that game last night was beautiful. Because the strategy's you got to really have good strategy. Okay, we're playing the Wizards. They stink. They want to lose too. How do we figure this out? 2 10-day dudes and Ricky Council 35 minutes. It's the perfect formula.
Well, let's hope now. Now we got to hope the lottery ball falls our way.
And Jeff Doughton, he's getting to a milestone. He can only play 50 games. They're going to have to play without him for a few games the rest of the year. How you feel about that, Ray?
About Jeff Doughton?
Yeah, he's only got 2 games left to play for the Sixers.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Will they be all right? Will they survive?
Well,
Is there another G leaguer that's been floating around, walking the streets that they could sign?
I'm sure there is.
Okay.
But it's a day of hope.
Graceful.
Today is a day of hope.
I had to get it out of my system. I'm sorry. I had to get it out of my system.
Yeah, but it's all good.
All right, it's out of my system.
Because we're hopeful now the Sixers are going to get a top 6 pick, maybe even the top pick. We're hopeful that the Flyers are going to get it right with their next head coaching hire, and we're hopeful because it's opening day. It's a beautiful day, Mike. It's a beautiful day, even though it's a little chilly.
You're hopeful about the Sixers and the Flyers?
Well,
I'm glad you
grasping for things to be hopeful there, but we're trying to make it. It's the start of a new season.
We're going to be hopeful about the Phillies after this because we're going to go down the list of projections of players and what they are projected to do this year. Who's up? Who's down? Pitching staff? What's going to happen? 610-632-0975. We'll get to our text board. We'll get to your calls after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler will make his second consecutive opening day start and be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore. Because they're facing a left-hander, it's expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up the season. 3 games down in D.C. this weekend, today, Saturday, and Sunday to open up the season for the home opener at Citizens Bank Park next Monday. The Phils are back. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games. They're back in action tonight against the Canadians at 7 o'clock. Danny Briere will address the media today at 5 o'clock following the announcement that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost, which kept the 76ers tied for the 5th worst record in the NBA. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See it for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Baseball season is here, and we have you covered. All the Phillies conversation, analysis, and expert
7:28, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Let's get to our text board, and then I want to go over a bunch of things here that have been written about the Phillies by local and by national people. Ray, what are people saying on the chat? Any Flyer fans checking in here?
No.
No,
the Flyer fans are quiet on this one.
They're not checking in. Your coach just got fired.
I'm shocked. People in the YouTube chat are pretty happy about it.
Really?
But nothing on the text board about torts.
Well, here, wait, as we say it. Here we go. Text that was sent yesterday, someone's following up on again. Don from Northampton. Maybe there's a method to his madness of what he said. I am not really interested in learning how to coach this season. Maybe he wants out because I actually heard him say in an interview. He said, if I'm not the person for this team, then get rid of me. I'm not going to change the way of my coaching. So Don from Northampton taking a victory lap on knowing that Torts didn't want to coach. I think we all kind of realized that Torts hated the situation that he was in, given what he said the other day.
What was his contract situation?
I think he had a year left.
Well, it's easy for a guy who's been coaching that many years who's stockpiled some money to say if they don't want me, they can fly. Because he's got money coming to him for a year. He can just fart around for a year. I mean, that's the best thing to have.
Oh, he doesn't need the money.
That's what I mean. But even now, he doesn't need the stress. He still gets a check.
It's just wild.
It's great, man. These long-term contracts where guys get fired.
But it is wild to me that you came here knowing you were inheriting a rebuilding team. So that's why his words after the last game were so strange. What do you mean you're not interested in learning how to coach this type of team? This is the reason you were brought here. You knew this was a rebuild. But I think what you've seen with these Flyers teams, let me make my Dan Campbell comparison. Because you know how much I hate Dan Campbell, that I think he beats these guys into the ground. And I think a part of the reason that Dan Campbell's teams get injured all the time is because he beats them into the ground. You're seeing a similar thing with John Tortorella. He's so go, got to play hard, got to do this. 2 years in a row now, we have seen them hit a massive wall. And last year, it was really an epic collapse that they don't make the playoffs. People were happy about it because you didn't want to see them ruin their draft status. But you saw it again this year. They hit a wall after playing well. I think he's just too much.
Let me ask you a question. What exactly did they get out of this guy? What was the methodology of hiring him in the first place? And did they get what they wanted out of him?
I don't know what they got out of him. I mean, what I think the Torts lovers will tell you is he taught some of these guys how to play hard and how to win.
It seems like he turned off more of them than taught.
I agree with you. I think he did. And I've said it before, my concern was with the Flyers having now draft capital and things that they can do, were other players going to be reluctant to come here? Like, we don't know why Cutter Gauthier didn't want to come here, but there were rumors that it involved John Tortorella. I don't know if that's true or not, but there was rumors there. We know there are some players in the National Hockey League who can't stand him. He's got players who love him. Like, I think Michael Del Zotto, who played for him in New York, said he's amazing. But then you have guys...
Michael Del Zotto?
Yeah, he was on...
I remember Michael Del Zotto. Yeah, that's the name that will pop into your head?
He loves the guy. But there are players who can't stand him. So he's a polarizing figure, and when you're trying to build a team, maybe you need to go in a different direction. Clearly, Flyers decided to.
All right. Let me get into this Philly thing, first and foremost. Here's the headline. See it right here? The Phillies don't quite have the ingredients for a World Series team. This is a local columnist who wrote this. And here's the reason why he says they don't have the ingredients. He says, it's fair to wonder if and when all of these veteran guys will no longer be in the primes of their career and the clock is ticking, and the question is when the alarm will sound for one or more of them. It might go off sometime this season. Now, if the alarm goes off for one or more of them this season, I guess they're not a World Series winning team because all these guys have to produce.
I understand the sentiment in that article. However, when you really take a look at the Phillies, who are we expecting that's going to just fall off a cliff this season? Like, the one player that I'm expecting to maybe have a little bit of a down year would be JT Realmuto, because he's older and he plays a position that's not favorable as you age. Are we really expecting Bryce Harper to fall off? I'm not.
No.
Are you expecting Schwarber to not hit 30 home runs?
I don't know.
So that you're
You
concerned
never
about
know.
Schwarber.
You never know.
See, I think Kyle Schwarber is going to give you exactly what he gives you. He's going to get
Okay.
on base a lot. He's still going to hit 30 plus.
Uh-huh.
And then you look at some of the other guys. All right, Trey Turner's not getting any younger, but can he really do any worse than what he did after the All-Star break last year? So I think he's going to have a better season. And everybody else, I mean, they're not that old. Bryson Stott's 26.
I agree. I agree more with you than the sentiment of the story, and this is a cautionary tale, basically, this story. But he is making the case that, a guy like Aaron Nola.
Yeah, the pitchers are a little up there. Wheeler's getting older. Nola's getting older.
But what's interesting about the pitching staff is that you think that's what they that's going to keep them afloat. Like the pitching staff is what's going to separate them from the rest of the contenders, and that's going to push them over the top.
I do think.
And yet,
that.
when you look closely at it, you don't factor in the fact that Nola. Listen, he's an okay pitcher. He's a
solid number two.
Been more than okay. But again, guys get older. He's going to be 32 now. Which means his velocity dips a little bit, which means he needs more pinpoint control at a longer period of his career. Now, Jesus Luzardo, I know everybody's gaga about Jesus Luzardo. I get it. Guy's coming off injury.
He is, but he looks strong. Luzardo looks strong. If you get the guy
strong in spring training,
yeah, I mean that's all we can base it off.
No, you can't. You can't even base it off that. You got to wait to see him get into a rotation to pitch start after start before you can say that.
I understand that, but you got to trust that they felt that he's healthy enough.
Are you feeling good about Ranger Sanchez?
Suarez? I'm feeling good about Christopher Sanchez.
I'm feeling good about Christopher Sanchez as well.
See, but that's why talk about Sanchez for a second. Even if Nola takes a little bit of a step back, which I'm not expecting him to, I don't think 32 is ancient. Sanchez is probably your true second best pitcher this season.
Okay.
So you got Zach Wheeler, who is going to be in the Cy Young discussion again. Finished second last year. A lot of people predicting he may even win it this year.
Solid. I have no question marks for him. I have question marks for Nola. I have question marks for Luzardo. I have question marks for the fifth starter, whoever that's going to be.
Yeah, Ranger Suarez, you worry about the back. But I don't know. I'm excited. Look, today on opening day, I'm looking at all these players with a glass half full mentality, not with a pessimistic mentality. And that's why if Luzardo's healthy, great addition to the rotation. If Nola doesn't lose a step, and now he falls into really your third best pitcher on your staff because Sanchez takes another leap forward, that's a solid pitching staff.
Okay.
And if Andrew Painter's the guy we thought he is, when he comes up in June, I mean, you look at this team, that's why I say they are better on paper this year than they were last year, and they won 95 damn games. We'll worry about October in October.
No, we got to worry about it now. We got to worry about October now. I'm not one of these guys going, oh, Mike, you're not going to enjoy the season. The only part of this season that's important is what they can do in October.
But you can't get to October until you get through the season. So they got to win enough games to make the postseason. Here's what could help them this year, though. Last year, when they came out to such a hot start, and I told you that I didn't like how complacency set in after the All-Star break, I don't think you're going to get that this year because there's a lot of competition in the NL East. Because I don't think they're going to start the season again. What was it, 61-32? They were 40-18 the first 2 months of the season. They're not going to do that again. So now you're going to have a team that needs to maybe go wire to wire that's going to be more prepared come October. That's what I'm looking forward to. And you still got the deadline. They can make moves. Who knows? Maybe your boy Justin Crawford's going to come up if people are struggling in the outfield. There's a lot of things to be hopeful about, Mike.
All right, 610-632-0975 on the other side. We're going to go through each player. Projections. You say, yeah or nah on the projections. And then when we get all the projections, will those projections be enough to actually play for a World Series title? Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
So 97.5 the Fanatic. We'll also have a handicapper on today. Our pal Justin Heath will come on. Or Jamie Heath, sorry.
He's doing it from Vegas Mistakes, right?
From Vegas Mistakes. Did he have a good week last week? He promised 4 wins out of 5.
I don't know, but the pick he gave us was close, man. He picked St. Mary's, and they didn't cover by like a point. But then he was spot on the week before, or the day before, with the Michigan pick.
He notched it down a little bit this week, Ray. Do you see this? We'll talk to him about it. He'll be on. But now he has to go 3-2.
Well, it does get harder, I guess, as the
I guess it does.
tournament progresses. We're forgetting we got tournament games tonight, don't we?
We do have tournament games.
Very interested to see the game that he has, the rationale he has behind the selection.
This is an interesting game because I'm looking at this game myself, and that's one of my teams that I got in the Final Four. One of those two teams he's picking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
12:30. We'll talk to him.
All right, so that'll be good. Now, the question I have for you, though, Mike, before we get into all the topics on the board.
Yeah.
On this day last year, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't like that they weren't in the spotlight, and they turned around and they traded Hassan Reddick right at the first pitch of opening day. You think we're going to get any Eagles news today?
So
we got the Flyers news.
Eagles, a little press grab for the Eagles.
I don't know, maybe a Sirianni extension today? Maybe a Dallas Goedert trade today?
Are you feeling something?
I don't know. I just know the Eagles don't like being in the background, so keep an eye out.
All right.
Tortorella gets fired today. Sirianni gets extended potentially.
Sirianni.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a new deal.
Hell yeah. So much good.
We all fertilize.
I missed our Sirianni drops. All he does is win, Ray.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
All right, let's go through the Phillies, the evaluations. 2025 outlook for Alec Boehm. Bill? Ray? How you feeling about the 2025 outlook for Alec Boehm? Then I will give you the projections.
It's interesting to think about the fact that this was an all-star last year. And then after the all-star break, things get so bad that he's getting benched in a division series. And a lot of that was attitude related. I got to think. See, this could go one of two ways, obviously. Like, he could either take all that trade talk and all the chatter and say, screw this, and sulk. Or he could look at it and be like, you know what, I got to grow up. I got to have a better attitude no matter what happens, no matter what slump I go into. And I'm expecting that. I'm expecting this guy who has all the skills to be a very good hitter. We've seen it in this league, that he's not going to allow the mental side to hold him down this year. Do you want predictions? Is that what you're asking for?
I'm just hearing your basic feel about Alec Boehm.
I think he's going to have a good season.
Is he all right? Here are the predictions. He hits 284. On base percentage 336. Slug 439. 16 home runs, 83 RBIs.
Ooh, 83 RBIs would be a step back for him. He had close to 100 last year.
Yeah, not much though.
He had 97.
No, my
last year.
83 is still pretty good production for only 16 home runs. So,
And if he's batting in the 3 hole as opposed to cleanup, does that affect that at all? I mean, those seem fair. They're not really going out on a limb that much. I mean, he hit 280 last year.
That'd be a thumbs up on that production? You take that?
Yeah, I think that is the floor for him. I think he's going to do at least that.
Okay, that's an up then.
Yeah.
So if it's the floor, it's still an up?
What do you mean up? I think he's going to do it?
That's an up. You give it a thumbs up approval.
Oh, I'm like the Caesar and Gladiator?
Yeah, thumbs up approval for those numbers.
All right, I'm going thumbs up. He will do it, at least those numbers.
Okay. Nick Castellanos. If the season started on June 1st, Castellanos would have ranked 7th among NL outfielders in slugging and 9th in OPS.
Down the stretch. He was your best player down the stretch.
Your feel for Nick Castellanos before I give you the projection numbers.
Well, Ray and I are putting a lot of money on Nick Castellanos to hit a home run today because that would be right on brand. Tortorella gets fired, Casty's going yard. So, I don't know. He's so streaky. I think he'll give you what he gives you. He'll hit about 250. He'll give you 20 to 23 home runs. He'll go on the long slumps, and then he'll go on epic tears. So that's where I'm putting him. You're going to get what you always get from Nick. What do they got him predicted at?
Projections. 259, 308 on base percentage, 428 slug, 21 home runs, 86 RBIs. Would you take that as a thumbs up?
I will take that from Nick Castellanos, especially because he's going to be your 6 or 7 hole hitter. I'll take that. 2
thumbs up, right? You just heard Bohm, you're Castellanos. You got thumbs up with those projection numbers?
I got like a thumb in the middle for the Bohm numbers. I mean, if you're batting third in this lineup, the production that I want from you, I know RBI is a stat more based on who's around you than what you're actually doing, but I would need you to drive in a little bit more. I know he's not going to be a 30 home run guy. I'd love for more power out of him regardless than the 16 home runs they're projecting. And if he's not going to do that for you, I'd love to see, that whether it be the average or the on base be a little bit higher. So that, to me, if those numbers are the numbers at the end of the season, I'll probably have a shrug of the shoulders like, this guy really just isn't what we wanted him to be.
All right, that's fair. By the way, Castellanos is my least favorite player.
You don't like his attitude?
I really can't explain why.
Is it his attitude?
I don't know.
How cavalier he is when he talks? And
I don't know. I just know that he's my least favorite player. I don't know why. Like, some guys resonate with me, some guys don't. He doesn't. Rojas doesn't. Bohm really doesn't. JT really doesn't.
JT doesn't resonate with you.
Too boring. Very boring man.
Interesting.
This is actually a big day for Johan Rojas. I think Rojas probably believed he was your least favorite Philly. So to find out that Castellanos is your least favorite Philly.
Is my least favorite Philly. Rojas is second.
All right, well, I mean, I thought he was number one.
Rojas did something that I can never forgive him for.
What was that? Oh, I know. He watched a highlight of his big catch.
Like, who does that? He's a big league player. Who does that? It's like, dude, really?
I know. Like,
you're going to laud yourself here in the middle of the game?
Yeah, like they posted on the Instagram for the Fanatic.
They watched it like 5 times. He kept watching it. Like, he made a nice catch. Yeah, instinctively you made the nice catch. You don't have to go over and over and over and over it.
They posted the entire knockout tournament on our Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go back and watch it. I mean, I know I won the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just go back and look about how great I am. I know this. You act like you've been there before, right?
We can tell that you didn't go back and watch it because you lied about knocking the ball away.
There's no need to pat yourself on the back.
Allegations.
It's hard to be allegations when it's right there on video.
Allegations.
The question is, am I Mr. Football? Am I Billy Baseball? Am I Billy Blue Line? Am I Billy Baskets? I mean, you name it, it fits, right?
You all right in there, Mike? I know his head's getting a little big. I don't know if you're going to fit in that room.
610-632-0975. That's a Carly Simon song. Allegation. No, what was the song?
I don't know that one.
Yes, you do. It's about pregnancy, I think.
Allegation?
Yeah, it's not called allegations. I put the word in there because you have allegations. Carly Simon song.
I'll look it up during the break. The You're So Vain song?
No, it's not You're So Vain. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler make his second consecutive opening day start and be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gordon. Because they're facing a left-hander, it's expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up the season. Season opening with 3 down in D.C. today, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the home opener next Monday for the Phils as they begin their 2025 season. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Bradshaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games. They're back in action tonight against the Canadians at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game right here on The Fanatic. Danny Briere will address the media today at 5 o'clock. The 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost, which keeps the 76ers tied with them for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Coming up on today's show, Stephen A. Smith will join us at 12:15, and Josh Shapiro will join us at 1:30, getting ready for the Phillies season. This update is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes at Jackson Hewitt. Expert tax prep is now $149 or less. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/49-149. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation, business.
The song I was thinking of is called Anticipation. And it's a song about her waiting for her not to be pregnant. put a lot of messages in her songs, Carly Simon. So it was Anticipation was the song, and it was used in a ketchup commercial.
Yeah, well, that's what people in the YouTube chat.
Yeah,
are
I
saying.
remember the commercial because Heinz ketchup was coming down really slow. And Anticipation is making me wait. So that's what I did with you. And Ray thought I was just going crazy. But
You don't have to anticipate on the Heinz ketchup. You just hit it on the 57. Remember that? You just hit the glass.
That's what or Robert De Niro did the roll thing.
Now, see, the kids these days.
Delicious.
Yeah, but now they just get the plastic squeeze bottles. They don't know the pain of trying to get it out of the ketchup bottle.
All righty. Are you giving Nick Castellanos the thumbs up? You gave him the thumbs up. You gave Alec Boehm the thumbs up. And now we get to Bryce Harper.
Hold on, I know you get mad at me that I always ask for clarification. It's the lawyer in me.
Yeah.
So when you say the thumbs up, meaning I was looking at it as
The numbers that I've said.
Yes, that
would
they're
you
gonna-
be satisfied with those numbers?
Okay. See, that's different. I thought you were asking if they were going to hit these numbers or not. That's why I said
No. If they get these numbers, would you be satisfied with them?
Okay, then I got to go back to the Alec Boehm one.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I agree with Ray. I would not be satisfied if he only has 83 RBIs this year.
You would not be satisfied.
No, I'd be satisfied with
For
Castellanos.
Alec Boehm at 83 RBIs, you would not be satisfied.
No, I want to see him. I want to see him hit close to 100 again.
Yeah, but he's, I don't know. You look at him, does he look like a 100 RBI guy every year? I don't know if he's in a 100 RBI guy every year because he's just not hitting enough home runs.
He doesn't hit the home
runs. You would
runs.
have to really be in the mix of things, and sometimes you're not going to be in the mix of things, and that's going to limit your RBIs.
However, even from the 3-hole with Turner and Harper in front of him, and if he's batting cleanup against righties, which I'm still hoping Thompson doesn't do, he hits enough doubles that he should be close to 100 RBI. So
All right.
I need more. I need more ribbies from Alec Boehm.
Okay. All right, but Castellanos you're good with.
Yeah, Castellanos, I'd be all right with those numbers. What did Ray? Ray, did you give a thumbs up to Casty's numbers?
Yeah, I'll give it thumbs up because I've stopped expecting a ton out of him.
All right, so you feel like Castellanos like I do.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I can't stand the experience. I mean it's just mind-numbingly frustrating.
What is it? What is it about him that turns you off?
I mean aside from the flailing at the outside slider that I feel like I watch on repeat every time he bats, I just think they paid him to be the right-handed bat they need and that consistency they need from the right hand, and he's just not that. That frustrates me. And then there's a little bit of the aloofness that drives me a little bit nuts.
But let me ask you this: how about the TML?
No, see that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you?
That doesn't bother me.
You got that right away.
Yeah,
The TML.
I'm starting to figure out how to work
Hold
with
on.
you, Mike.
TML. Wait, can I say it on air? Is this an acronym you're using because it's a bad word?
No.
Too much.
All right, well, you figure that out. How about you tell us what we're listening
Is
to?
it the unbuttons?
No.
Yeah. You're listening to WPEN HD1. I'm sure the chat will figure it out. Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibility. So we start the 11 o'clock hour with a text, Ray. What's the text saying about the Phils right now?
You did end up getting your Torts text. As soon as you asked for the Torts text, people got upset.
All right, the Torts people came out.
Yeah, the Torts people came out. John from Missouri was all in on signing Torts for rebuild, but we all knew he wouldn't be here once they got to a level of competing for deep playoff runs. His comments yesterday, you can't come back from, just sounds like you're wasting time right now from a developmental standpoint.
Here's my question. What did he rebuild? What did he do? No, it was great. The Torts would do what he did, but then you just got to move on. What did he do? He turned off more young players that they had brought into the system that he helped. What rebuild? What am I, an idiot?
Well, look, it depends on how you look at it, because the fact that they're losing as many games as they've lost, 11 of their last 12, I guess that helps them get a higher draft pick. You can look at the positives
I'm
there.
serious now. Don't laugh this off. Don't laugh this off, Mr. Tort fan, because you're a Torts guy too. You're one of those macho flyer fans. Oh, Torts.
I thought that last year, before they had the epic collapse, losing 8 straight games and falling out of playoff contention, you looked at the job that Tortorella was doing with the talent he had, and you could say, man, he's doing a great job. But there were signs of things that I didn't like, and the Couturier benching was one of them. And then you come in this year after that epic collapse, and you've underperformed again, and you've seen another late season where the team just looks terrible, and there's more of these things about benchings, and not understanding why people are being benched. And was this really the right message for Matvei Michkov? There were things he was doing that, yes, had me scratching my head, and then the comments the other day were the final straw. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a Torts lover. I didn't hate him like some, but I think I agree with you. You look back now on his 3-year tenure.
What do you do?
And he hasn't done much.
Okay. Did you get TML yet?
I have not got TML.
All right, we'll get you another text while you figure that one out.
Give me another text.
Aaron Noel will be third all-time Phillies pitcher in games started and second all-time in strikeouts after Steve Carlton by the end of the year. He's the Brandon Graham of the Phillies and deserves respect on his name.
Wait, who's the Brandon Graham of the Phillies?
Aaron Nola.
He does respect with his name. Yeah, okay. So many people have not given him respect in this town. It's laughable now that he's Mr. Congeniality. But no, listen, I like Aaron Nola because he goes out there and he competes every day. He doesn't get hurt. I get it. There comes a period of time when your velocity just doesn't match up anymore. And at age 32, maybe it doesn't anymore. And that means he's got to be more pinpoint control. And there have been times when he's not pinpoint control. He gets demolished. And it's usually like every other start. But I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with the top two rotation guys. It's where I get a little deeper into the rotation I'm concerned. We're rounding off this Luzardo is going to be a stud. We're rounding off that when they bring up Painter, he's going to be freaking Don Drysdale. And we're rounding off the Ranger Suarez. They're not going to be hurt all year. I mean, it's a lot of things you got to process here. All right, let's move on to another player. Here he is.
Wait, I want to hear if he got TML yet.
He didn't get it.
Does the L stand for ladies?
No.
I have no idea. The YouTube chat doesn't know it either.
Come on now, YouTube chat. TML.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Thank me later. I'm reading the YouTube chat. JJ says thank me later. Andrew says too many
I'm
ladies.
Disappointed in the chat.
Nobody in the chat has TML.
TML stands for too much Liam.
Trevor on the text line had it.
Really?
No.
Yes.
I can't get behind that. Now, wait a second. Wait a second here.
Is it too
Wait a second.
much
Wait.
now? Is it too
Yesterday, you two killed me for saying that the whole Cam Smith thing, bringing his family into the clubhouse and making him break down like a baby, I said I thought was a little bit much. I wouldn't want that as a professional athlete. And now you guys have a problem with a dude having his son at the game?
I didn't say I did. He said, is it TML? I said
You
no.
guys don't make any sense.
First of all,
I wouldn't even thought that.
If he cried like 25 times like we've seen Liam, that would be a different story. We're talking about just a little too much now with the, okay, he comes to the game, he runs down there. It's a cute story. After a while, I'm done with it.
And you know how I knew that was what he was going for? Because I listen when he speaks, and he's brought this up before.
All right, listen.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Of all the problems,
now.
of
Wait a
all
minute,
the problems,
all the other little kids are going to be deprived of being Liam. Come on.
Dude, of all the problems with Nick Castellanos, Liam has got to be like 20th on the list for me.
Did you hear I say it's a problem? It's just like, it's like,
See, I think it's more his attitude.
It's enough.
The way he speaks to the media.
Enough with the Liam.
The chasing, the streakiness.
It's cute for a while, and then, until you get your eye poked out.
You're crazy, dude. The fact that you were all on board with the Cam Smith and how romantic it is. It's baseball.
Cam Smith's not a little kid.
They treated him like one.
The guy making the team.
They treated him like a little kid.
Part.
They treated him like a little kid. He had his mom come in and say, "You made the roster."
I can't believe that you are annoyed by that, but not by this little kid getting camera time every 3 seconds.
That doesn't bother me at all. Liam's my favorite thing about Nick Castellanos.
Because you got a little kid his age. That's why. That's why you got to disqualify yourself. You got to recuse yourself from this.
If only my kid was at Knockout last night, it would have been a beautiful thing for him to watch.
You're going to hear this forever, right? See, this is why.
You got a year of this, baby.
I couldn't bear to stay because I feared this was going to happen.
Because you saw me draining shot after shot.
In fact, I did a little video on our new digital thing right after the Sixers game. I was talking about the Sixers. I'm here. I said, I'm really here for the knockout. I panned to the crowd. I said, there's the people. They're going to play a knockout. I said, I'm really here to see Bill Colorado lose. And I'm hoping that my man Ray Dunn's the man who eliminates him.
Right, on
so
our-
I couldn't take it, the actual result where you would actually win.
Our new digital thing called Instagram.
No.
The brand new digital thing.
No, what I didn't know is it was our website.
I know. I'm just kidding.
You know?
No, our new digital.
The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 6.
Like the Missanelli show, where they say at 11:11 you gotta make a wish. Is that what it is?
That's correct. Isn't that
Make a
your
wish.
birthday as well?
It is my birthday. 11-11. Bryce Harper is up, Bill, for evaluation. Bryce Harper. In general, how you feeling about Bryce? And then I'll give you his production numbers.
We talked a little bit about it yesterday with the whole Bryce Harper topic. I don't blame Bryce Harper for this team not winning the World Series. So I think he has more than delivered on everything you thought you were getting when you signed him 7 years ago, in more ways than one. Ray said it, too, about how he kind of changed this franchise and ushered in this new era of Phillies baseball. So I'm still feeling good about Bryce.
You're okay. He's untouchable for you. He's Teflon. He's going to perform.
I wouldn't say
you don't
that
have to worry about him. I will say I don't ever worry about him.
You don't worry about him, but I wouldn't say he's Teflon. Like, if he performs poorly, I think he should be criticized.
Yeah, he's kind of Teflon to me. The only thing he's not Teflon on is he makes base running mistake that'll be an over aggressive, but he doesn't do that very often. I'll take that guy 100 times. All right, so here's the projected numbers: 284, 380 on base percentage, 519 slug, 31 bombs, 98 RBIs.
Yeah, I'd give 2 thumbs up if he.
2 thumbs up for that. Ray, you thumbs up with that?
I'm all in with that.
All right, Max Kepler.
Oh, I've really talked myself into Max Kepler being a stud. And I said that to you off air yesterday. Like, am I just convincing myself that this kid's going to be really good?
Yes, you are.
He's hitting the ball so well. Well, he was in spring training. Man, you see that? I just said spring training like it was present. It's past, Ray, because it's opening day. Do we have a horn for opening day? Or anything can we ring a bell or something?
Can I just say this for the record? Spring training doesn't mean a hill of beans.
I know.
All right?
I know, but
so forget what he did in spring training.
But
he
looks healthy.
Okay, here's what we should look at. He hasn't played left field in 10 years. 10 Major League seasons, never played left field. He's coming off an injury-marred season where he was a platoon in the outfield, and he wasn't a very good platoon.
He had the abdominal issue. He had surgery on it.
And he's another left-handed hitter in a lefty cleaning lineup, which means they bring in a left-hand reliever. Does that cut down his effectiveness?
I'm sure
they don't have a right-handed platoon guy. Don't have a right-handed outfielder. Don't have one. On the whole team, a contending team, they don't have a right-handed hitting outfielder they can throw out there.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Weston Wilson, you don't love. He'll be here in a few weeks. But you go back. Here's why I've talked myself into this Max Kepler thing. You've talked a lot about Ranger Suarez and with his back and how you can't push when you have a back injury. Kepler was dealing with an injury to his core. That has to make it difficult to drive the ball and really do anything when you have a core injury.
Sure it does.
So the fact that now he had surgery, from all accounts, he's strong, he's healthy. Kevin Long claims he found something in his swing that they've corrected. You're talking about a guy who 2 years ago did hit over 20 dingers. So I'm expecting a big season from Kepler. And I think maybe I've talked myself into it, but it's got to be better than what you got from Austin Hayes last year or Whit Merrifield last year. So that's why I'm feeling good about Kepler. What are they predicting for him now?
Here it is. 235, 305 on base percentage, 18 home runs, 62 RBIs. That ain't a big year.
No, it's not. And he'll probably be, I'm looking at the different lineups here. He'll either be in the 5 hole if Schwarber leads off, if they go lefty-righty down.
That would be the opposite of the Bill Colarulo prediction.
Or 6th. Yeah, I need a little bit more from Kepler. I think I need a little bit more.
Thumbs down on that production?
Yeah, I want a little more.
Ray?
Honestly, and this might tell you the way I feel about them bringing in Max Kepler, it might be a thumbs up for me.
Wow, so you're not high on him.
No, I wasn't high on him when they brought him in.
Well, if you're not high on him and you think that's going to be the production, are the Phillies not going to lack offensively? Like all
and
these
the outfield, the outfield's not good enough.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to one other guy here as we get into with our next break. Brandon Marsh.
Marsh has to be better, man. I don't know what the predictions are, but he has to show that he can hit left-handed pitching this year. He has to.
All right. Brandon Marsh. 27 years old now. He is. The projection numbers for Brandon Marsh: 250, 328 on base percentage, 410 slug, 15 home runs, 70 RBIs. I would take that in a second. That production. That's a double thumbs up for me. I don't think he gets close to that.
Well, I'm looking at his numbers from last year.
So this makes up for what Kepler's not giving you.
Well, Marsh hit 249 last year. He had an OBP of 328.
Oh, he did.
Slugging percentage of 419.
Wow.
And he had 60 ribbies, 16 home runs.
So,
but he did that, and he did that in 418 at bats because they didn't let him hit left-handed
these
pitching.
numbers say no improvement, is what it's saying.
Yeah, they're saying you're basically getting the same thing.
Guy.
That's why I'm giving a thumbs down to those numbers. I need a little bit more. Wait, how many ribbies did they say he's going to get in the 70s?
70.
I need a little bit more. I need the average to be higher than 250.
I don't know if you can expect a guy at the bottom of the order or left-handed guy to have more than 70 RBIs.
No, because he's going to be.
I think that's a good number of RBIs for a center fielder.
Because he may be batting ninth, right?
Yeah, he's down in the order.
So I want the on base percentage a little higher, the batting average a little higher.
All right, we'll do one more. JT Realmuto, age 34. 5th year of a 5-year deal.
Still the BCIB? You know that acronym?
BCIB?
Raymond?
No, he's not.
That's best catcher in baseball?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
And he's no longer the BCIB.
No. Corrections. 258. 321 on base. 485 slug. 17 home runs, 62 RBIs. Double thumbs up for me for that.
Yeah, double thumbs up for me.
Double thumbs up for me. I don't think he's going to get to that.
Either do I. When I told you earlier, when I look at this team on paper, I think they're better than last year. But the one spot where I think you'll see a little regression because of age is JT. So I would take those numbers. I don't think he reaches them.
All right. Guess who's up next? My favorite center fielder. You want to stay tuned for the evaluation of Mr. I watched my video 17 times as the game was going on. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Natural Lawn of America. Get free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED now. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler make his second consecutive opening day start. Be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore. And because they're facing a left-hander in this game, it is expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up this season. It's 3 down in D.C. this weekend. Today, Saturday, and Sunday before the home opener next Monday for the Phils as the 2025 campaign gets underway. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games of the year. They're back in action tonight against the Canadians at 7 o'clock. You can catch the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Danny Briere will address the media later on today at 5 o'clock. 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost, which keeps the 76ers and Nets tied for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Coming up on today's show, Stephen A. Smith joins us at 12:15. Governor Josh Shapiro will join us at 1:30. This update is also brought to you by ExpressPros.com. Make hiring easier with the workforce experts. Let the people at Express Employment Professionals find you the right fit. Hiring is about people, not algorithms. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
26. Missanelli Show. 97.5, The Fanatic. All right. We're going to get back to these player evaluations, but I want to pick people's spirits up because Jim Bowden, former Major League general manager, now a baseball analyst for a lot of networks, MLB Network. He goes over some predictions, anticipation for the upcoming baseball season. So are you ready for the first one I wanted to bring to your attention?
Yeah, and you say it's going to pick our spirits
I'll pick your spirits up. The National League division winners will be the Cubs in the Central, the Dodgers in the West, and your fighting Phillies for the East.
I love it. Man, nationally, people love this team.
The
It's locally.
NL wildcard spots will go to the Braves, the Mets, and the Diamondbacks. Now, if that's the case, that makes the Phillies and Dodgers the two teams that get the bye. The Cubs would then play the Diamondbacks. The Mets would play the Braves. And what would the second round then be? The Dodgers would play the winner of the worst, right? So that would be the Cubs-Padres.
So Phils get Braves or Mets.
Phils will get the Braves or Mets. Is that right, or is that not right?
Let me throw one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
He wants you to throw
The
it to him.
Dodgers, first seed.
Okay.
Phillies, second seed. The Cubs would be the third seed as the division winner. They would play the worst wild card, the Padres.
Phillies would get the winner of Cubs Padres in that scenario
Why?
because it would be the 2 versus the winner of 3 and 6. Last year, the Phillies were the 2. They got the winner of the 3 and 6, which was the Brewers and the Mets. The Mets won that series, even though the Mets were the lowest seed. The Mets ended up playing the Phillies because they bracketed out.
Well, they will get the break then.
Yeah, a little bit because they don't receive.
No.
The Dodgers would play the winner of the Mets Braves. Tougher series. The Dodgers would have than the Phillies.
Yes. Basically, you want to be either the 2 or you want to be the 6 in this scenario for the Phillies. You want to be the best division winner that's not the Dodgers, or you want to be the worst
in that
wild
case,
card.
when Bowden says they're going to win the division, that's monstrous.
That would be good. So then you would own your road to the World Series, assuming you're a 2 seed. You would only have to beat one of Dodgers, Braves, Mets. You
Yes.
would not have to beat both.
Correct.
Or 2 of those 3. Wow.
How about that? Now, can you imagine if the Phillies get the 2 and lose to the winner of the Cubs-Padres?
No, I can't.
That would be the Mets all over again from last year.
Now,
and that would end the era. I got news for you. The era would be over.
In that scenario, is Rob Thompson your manager next season? He can't be, right, at that point?
Nope. The whole thing would fall down. All right, here's another prediction that I know you're going to like. Andrew Painter is promoted to the big leagues by the Phillies during the first week of June after an injury to one of their starting pitchers. He ends up with, get this, double-digit wins and an ERA of just over 3 and earns a start in the first round of the playoffs, Bill.
Sign me up for that.
You've been predicting that. You're high on the young lad.
I think most people are. Most people are. The thing is that there are people who are saying he's going to be, the next Roger Clemens. He's going to be this. We do have to see him do it at the major league level. But from everything you see, everything you hear, this kid's got all of the tools to be an absolute stud in Major League Baseball. But if that prediction comes through, who was that? Was that Gelb that made that prediction?
No.
Is that Bowden?
Bowden.
You sure about that?
I'm giving you all these predictions from Bowden.
I thought I saw that it was Gelb that gave that. Is Bowden stealing? Is he stealing predictions, Ray?
It's crazy. 2 guys that work at The Athletic might have shared information and
Let's
had
see.
similar projections.
Ray, how is this? Is this an indication? By Jim Bowden, March 25th, 2025.
Pretty good indication.
Wait a second.
That would be the indication.
Wait a second. I'm on theathletic.com right now because I read this article this morning. And it says this year's bold prediction. Andrew Painter arrives on June 30th for his Major League debut, then makes 14 starts that are great enough to propel him to second-place finish in NL Rookie of the Year voting behind Los Angeles' Roki Sasaki. Matt Gelb.
That's not the same prediction. They're 2 different predictions.
What was Bowden's prediction?
Bowden says double-digit wins and an ERA just over 3 and earns a start in the first round of the playoffs, and he's promoted during the first week of June. It is possible that two people had similar predictions. I'm reading from the Bowden one.
All right. Well, Gelb is also predicting that Painter
It frustrates me so much. It's unbelievable.
and has a pretty
I'm reading directly from an article that says by Jim Bowden, and this guy's got to check my work.
Now, Mike, I think it's ridiculous you're giving that credit to Jim Bowden because I heard Bill Colarulo 2 weeks ago tell me that Andrew Painter was coming up midseason and going to be big for this Phillies team.
It's
He's the only one that had that thought.
This guy is unbelievable.
All right. Well, Matt Gelb is also making a pretty bold prediction.
Oh,
for
who cares
Andrew
about Matt Gelb's? I'm reading Jim Bowden's.
Andrew Painter. That's all you need to know.
All right, finally. After a strong season with the Cubs, Kyle Tucker signs a 14-year, $604 million contract with the Phillies in free agency.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to see the Phillies make that trade this offseason. Now, if you sign Kyle Tucker, who are you moving on from that makes room for him? Can you afford that?
Casty's gone.
Well, Casty's got 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah, well, they will move him.
They've tried to move him before, though.
Kepler is a 1-year deal.
Yeah, Kepler would go on a 1 year deal, but I don't think you'd have to move Casty's contract, I think, to be able to afford Kyle Tucker at that price, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
1 year deal, though. So
and Schwarber and Realmuto are free agents, too.
Yeah,
also, part of that is the deferrals. So if they're deferring a lot of money,
True.
could you afford both of them? And you're saying, hey, Brandon Marsh, it was nice seeing you, but Max Kepler, this was a 1 year deal. It's nice. 14 years, though, for Tucker would take him into his 40s.
Yeah, it's a big contract.
That'd be wild.
JT's, you alleviate that $22 million.
Yeah, but who's your catcher then?
Well, you gotta acquire one, or you gotta give Marshawn a shot. I don't know. What do you expect from JT at that point? You gotta, carry him on for a couple more years.
Well, Ray and I spoke about this a little bit a few weeks ago, whether or not the Phillies should have extended JT Realmuto or not, because he wants the extension now.
What would you extend him at? You can't pay him that kind of money.
You can't.
All right.
Ray, you wouldn't sign him at all.
I'm not doing it. I'm not
knock him down to 15, maybe, if he wants to take it.
Maybe like a 2 year deal?
I had a really scary, this is what I call like my dark path thoughts. You know how Harper said that he would move back to the outfield?
Yep.
I had a scary thought that Harper's already laying the groundwork for
JT.
we're going to bring JT back. He's going to be a first baseman, and I'm going to go play the outfield.
Yeah. JT doesn't hit enough home runs.
No, I wouldn't want to be my first baseman.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to our evaluations as we get towards our next break. Johan Rojas. He's 24. Pre-arbitration, he's under control through 2029. He makes peanuts. They got a lot of time with him if they want to keep him. But the key question, has Rojas reached a ceiling? He figures to start only against tough left-handed pitchers and serve as a late-game defensive replacement. Touted prospect Justin Crawford is rising quickly through the system. The projections for Rojas, 243, 285, 346, 4 home runs, 28 RBIs. Now, which of those numbers bothers me the most?
Give them to me one more time.
243 batting average, which he will never hit this year, I predict. 285 OPS, 346 slug, 4 home runs, 28 RBIs.
Well, I would think you said OPS, but do you mean OBP? 285?
OBP.
That's probably the one that bothers you the most.
It does.
Yeah.
How in the world, with a guy with that kind of speed, who refuses to look at his game and say, how am I best served in the major leagues, will just settle for a 285 on-base percentage?
Yeah, now he's got to get on base. But I'm not expecting Rojas. Maybe he's here the whole year because of the defense that he could provide late in games. But I'm not expecting him to have a big role on this team.
I'm so tired of hearing the fawning over his defense. Yeah, I get it. He can track down a fly ball. I understand it. There's a lot more to helping a team than that. If you would only learn to play the game. I hate guys that refuse to learn how to play the game. 610-632-0975. That's why I hate Ricky Council IV.
1 of 8 last night from 3.
That's why I hated Paul Reed. 610-632-0975. Learn the game! Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
I get to-
Missanelli Show. I want to hear from you. It's opening day, damn it! Phillies embark on a course where a lot of people think they can win the division, get a good seed, just like last year. Get that bye and get ready to play the Mets. And we won't mention what happened in that game, but This is a new season, and it's a new pitching staff. It's a deeper pitching staff. It's starting rotation anyway, not the bullpen. You got a new left fielder that you're crossing your fingers can give you a little more pop than what you got out of there last year. And so we're evaluating all these players, and I want to know how you feel about this team right now. I want to know what your optimism level is at 610-632-0975. All right, let's go to Kyle Schwarber and the projections for Kyle Schwarber. He is projected to go 224, 346, 470, 38 bombs, 98 RBIs. I'll take it. How about you, Bill?
What's his OBP?
224, 346, 470. Well, that's got to be high. That's a little low.
Yeah,
Should be a little higher.
Last year, you saw him really improve against left-handed pitching, focused on continuing to get on base like he always does. That seems a little light for me.
Seems a little light. You're right. But 38 bombs, 98 RBIs, that's a tad down in production. But again, we're talking about guys a year older.
Yeah, I mean, look, the 38 homers and close to 100 RBIs I'll take, especially if he's moving a little bit down in the lineup. But if he hits 38 home runs from the cleanup spot, I'd expect him to break 100 RBIs.
Yeah, they're also saying he's not going to hit for average like he did last year. He raised his average 51 points last year. Also at 300 against lefties. Now he's at 224 for his average, a little dip down. That represents a slight dip down, but it's still productive, and I will take it. All right. Edmundo Sosa. He's like the Phillies version of the sixth man. Going to throw him all over the place, including in the outfield, where he may have to start in left field.
That's your right-handed bat. Right
There's your right-handed bat, Edmundo Sosa from the outfield. I don't like it, but production 248, 306, 402 with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. That's not a lot.
Now, he don't hit a lot of home runs. What'd they give him as a batting average?
248.
Yeah, that doesn't seem. I think you got. Well, look, he's going to be a utility
a reflection
guy.
Of jockeying him around, throwing him in the outfield, putting him here, putting him there. Not good. This is why you want to keep him as an infield reserve.
Look, I'm expecting him to do a little bit more than that, but I don't think it's going to make or break them if he gives you those numbers. So I'll give him a thumbs up that I'd be all right with.
All right, here's Bryson Stott. I know, Bill, you're high on Bryson Stott, and I know, Ray, I don't know how you feel about him. What is his identity as a hitter? You know, when he first came up, his second year where he's slinging the ball all over the yard, people say, this guy's got potential to win a batting title. Well, they weren't saying that, and they're not saying that anymore. So I don't know what kind of hitter he is. I think he's a good hitter. I think that he ran into some problems last year mentally, and I think he was a little bit banged up. So I think this guy is close to a 280, 290 hitter, but the projections don't say that. The projections have Stott hitting 257, 320 on base, 379 OPS, 12 homers, 64 RBIs, however. Thumbs up from both of you guys on Stott, those numbers. What do you think, Bill?
No, I'm going thumbs down. I'm expecting him to be what you just said. I think he's going to be more of like a 280, 285 hitter. You're going to see him get back to the guy you thought he was when we watched him in 2023, and he finished that season at 280. So I think he's going to show that he could still hit and that he's still going to be a very productive guy in this lineup. I wouldn't be shocked if by after the All-Star break, Stott's a lot higher in the batting order too, because you could see him. I still think he may be the best leadoff hitter. I know we're going with Trey Turner to start the year, which I'm happy about. But if Bryson Stott's the guy we thought he was from a couple years ago, he could be a great leadoff hitter. But let's not get too carried away, I guess. But I think it's going to be higher than that. I'll give a thumbs down to those numbers.
Ray, what do you think of those numbers for Bryson Stott? Do you think he will do better than that?
If those are his numbers, yeah, thumbs down for him. I think that he has the opportunity to be back closer to that 2023 numbers. I expect him to be the 270. Geez, I was about to say 370 hitter. That would be really impressive from him. It'd be a great jump. I'd love that. 270, somewhere around there, 275 with an on base somewhere in the 330s. That's more what I'm looking for from him. The power stuff, like the counting numbers that they have out there, I don't care too much for. But if he's closer to that, I'm more than happy with him, especially considering, unlike what Bill just said about him eventually being at the top of the lineup, I like him down there where he's going to kind of turn this thing over and put guys on base and kind of if you're leaning into this really dynamic top of the order where Turner's going to be able to run and cause havoc for you, if Stott's able to do that from the bottom of the order and turn things over to the top, you could have a really, really dynamic offense that starts with Stott batting 8th for you.
A little double leadoff almost.
Okay. Let's just do one more player here, and it's Trey Turner.
Big X factor this year.
Trey, I don't know if he's going to be a leadoff hitter. We'll see. We don't have the lineup for today. My sense is he's going to lead off today. I don't know why. But in any event, stats for the year. 287, 335, 462, 24 home runs, 85 RBIs.
I'd give a thumbs up to that level of production from him. I
would take that too.
I think I'd be all right.
24 home runs?
Yeah.
I'd take that in a second.
And
85 RBIs.
Yeah, 85 RBIs I will take. It depends, though, on, like, what it looks like. Like, those numbers I'll take. But last year, you look at his final numbers, you would say, oh, man, he had a good season. But he really didn't when you look at what he did down the stretch. So I want a more consistent Trey Turner. And I think if you get that level of production from him in the RBI department, it probably means you are getting a very consistent Trey Turner all season. So I'll give a thumbs up to that.
All right. Just a couple of pitchers. Because I'm really curious to know how you feel this man is going to go. Because you've been high on him the whole spring. Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, what about him? You got projections for me?
154, 436 ERA. 154 innings pitched.
154 innings pitched.
436 ERA.
I would sign up for that. I would sign up for that.
436, huh?
I think, look, it's a little higher than I thought he would be. But if he's going to pitch 156 innings, I think that's a good sign because it means he's healthy. So I'm signing up for it. And I thought his ERA would be a little bit lower, but I would sign up for that because it means he's healthy. I could still see him being an under 4 ERA guy, though.
All right.
But I'll sign up for the health.
We got a phone call. We got Richard in D.C. checking in. I wonder if he's at the ball game. Richard, at the ball game?
No, I'll be there. I'll be there this afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. I know it's a little early, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So are you...
First time, long time.
Thanks, buddy.
For your show.
Thanks checking in. What's on your mind?
But yeah, I got high hopes. I got high hopes for this team this year. I think they're going to do a turnaround. I think they're going to pull like an Eagles thing, go out with the bad, come in with the new. I think they're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the new?
Well, you know how it ended last year?
Yeah.
Crappy.
Yeah.
I think they turn around and just take the whole thing this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like you said, the new, just like the Eagles, and with the out because they brought in some new players, the Eagles. I was wondering what if you thought about the Phillies bringing in new players. Who is their new players?
I don't know. I haven't really. Did we get like a new pitcher? A couple of new pitchers?
Yeah, you got Luzardo and you got a new left fielder.
Okay. So.
All right, so you're high on them. You think they can win a World Series?
Yeah. I think they can turn it around and get the business done.
All right, sounds good. Have fun at the game.
Yep. Thanks, man.
All right, there he is.
Have a great day.
Richard in D.C., very optimistic fan. Right there.
Yeah, I was optimistic. With the new pieces.
New pieces.
Yeah, I mean, they did add Romano as well to the back end.
Jordan Romano, Joe Ross.
But
new guy, Carlos Hernandez.
I wanted change as well this offseason. And I would have been on board for them trading Alec Boehm and shaking things up. But this was a very good baseball team. Like, this has been a very good baseball team. And I get what's happened in October, but you're talking about a team that won 95 games.
They're a solid team, and they're a playoff team. And it's just a matter of how far they go in the playoffs, which is why I go, yeah, you got to consider that. Because October matters more than anything. October matters. If they pull the same thing they did last year, the era is over. 610-632-0975. Coming up is the news at noon, and then a big 12 o'clock hour. Stephen A. Smith, our handicapper from VegasMistake.com. A little later in the show, the governor, Josh Shapiro, his views on the Phillies. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler make his second consecutive opening day start, be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore. Because they're facing a left-hander, it's expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up the season. It's 3 down in D.C. this weekend, today, Saturday, and Sunday to open up the season before the home opener next Monday for the Phils as the 2025 campaign gets underway. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games of the year. They're back in action tonight against the Montreal Canadiens at 7 o'clock. You can catch the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Danny Briere will address the media later on today at 5 o'clock. The 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. Nets also lost, which keeps the 76ers tied for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Coming up later on in today's show, Stephen A. Smith joins us at 12:15. Governor Josh Shapiro will join us coming up at 1:30. This update is brought to you by True Green. True Green, get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at truegreen.com. That's TRU green.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
6, Mike Missanelli Show. We're just looking at video of Bill Colarulo and the allegations that he may have cheated last night as he wins the station's knockout tournament, beat everybody, topped everybody for the station. But there was a moment in time where you missed your shot, and then the guy behind you and trying to knock you out fires a shot. It hits the rim hard. It comes towards you. You bat it away and then make your layup.
Yeah, I think I showed great hand-eye coordination because in all one motion, batted his from hitting me in the face, Ray. I'm not going to let it hit me in the face. Batted it, grabbed my rebound, went up for the layup, made it.
Well, you bought time by batting it away, and a lot of people are saying, was that a sly, intentional ruse that you played in that game? As you're wearing your blue ribbon now. Look at who.
Yeah, did you see that?
Ray, who does not want to wear the ribbon?
Did you
True.
see this?
That's a good point.
Does YouTube have it? What's that say on there, Ray?
Yeah, blue ribbon. That's
Actually, they can't see it because you, in all your glory here, have put that behind the microphone for them to look at.
You know what? I'm going to move it to the other side. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
We'll move it to this side so everybody can see it.
I just want to recap again what Bill's saying here is just total fraudulent. The ball falls off the rim. You were standing there watching the ball drop towards you, and with your right hand, you smack it across the court, retrieve your ball, get the layup, then slow play the ball being given to me to ensure that if I miss that first shot, I'm in a world of trouble. And sure enough, I was in a world of trouble.
I just hear jealousy, Ray. That's all. That's all
No,
I
I'm
hear
just
here.
telling you what happened in the game and what's clearly seen in the video. If you don't have to play holier than thou. You can say, hey, that was strategy. That's how you play the game.
Oh, see,
but
well,
you've played a little bit of a holier than thou.
I think it's part of the game.
Well, it's late. It's late now for you to say that it's part of the
A
game.
lot of people see you as a tainted victor.
Now, listen, last year, in my first showing ever, I made it very far, and I was accused of colluding with my wife that I got that far. Now, this year, I come back, and I dominate the station. I mean, just dominate. I think I made like 12 free throws in a row before I even missed that one that's in this video.
Listen, you can say what all you want. Very impressive what you did. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Yeah, you see, Mikey Miss is giving me credit, Ray.
I left the competition early. I didn't get the word on this until I came in today. There's some consternation about your victory because of what you did. And you won't admit that you were playing hard and strategic by knocking that guy's away. You said it was by accident. It was going to hit your face.
Why does it
I don't know if
accident?
the video clearly shows that was going to hit your face.
Oh, no, I intentionally swatted it. But what I'm saying is the ball was coming at me. It was in my purview to do.
So what do you
The
do?
guys
allowed
that
to do.
denied taking steroids made it worse by the lying. You should
not
just
lying.
not. You did lie. Your
You're
defense
acting-
this morning was that the ball was coming at your face and you had to defend yourself. Now you're saying that I intentionally swatted away. So your story has changed over the last 4 hours.
What I'm saying is the ball was coming towards my body so I can react to it. You guys wanted me to jump out of the way, try to leap over the ball.
No, the ball, you could let the ball hit you. It's
Or
not
let
gonna
it
hurt
drop.
You. You let it drop off you.
You
Let
act
it
like
hit
this
you,
is
so-
a swift move you pulled off. You watched the ball
Yeah.
drop and then went.
I don't know. Listen, Bill, I'm more on your side than not. Here's what I will say, though. I heard a lot of trash talking here. All right, the guys in this play, the youngins in this place, sure talk a really good game. But from my observation, and I sat there and I observed, very little basketball athleticism in this house.
You're talking about
the Connors and the Salciunas of the world. Very awkward, non-athletic deliveries from the free throw line.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying on that. I think you would agree. I have a nice shot. I got
Yours
nice
is
form.
all right.
I get the shooter's roll.
You got a muscly shot. It's not as fluid.
No, it's very soft.
Not as fluid as a basketball shot would be.
Very soft touch for Billy Biceps.
Oh my God!
Can you even fit in the room with how big his head has gotten?
It's ridiculous. Anyway, you're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. We broadcast every day right here, except for next week when we'll be at Chickies and Pete's in the Northeast, close to the ballpark, by the way. We broadcast from the Comcast Business Studios, only powering possibilities. Bill, next week when we get to Chickies and Pete's, I hope they have the windows open so we can hear the roar of the crowd.
Yeah, it'll be fun though. Who's Corona's sponsoring that?
Oh, the Corona people are fantastic.
So that's going to be fun.
Put your ear out the window and you can almost smell the peanuts.
Ray, are you going to be with us or are you back here?
I'm here.
Okay.
Right. You're closest. You're closest to the ballpark.
Yeah. But we're lucky because
I'll be
not only do we have the Corona people, our friend Jen Scordo is going to be down there with us too.
She's going to be engineering for us?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
So that'll be nice.
Fantastic. All right, 610-632-0975. Let's get to the text board. People are laying low here. The season has to start for people, I think, to talk about the Phillies. We've gone through spring training. There wasn't a lot of talk of the Phillies. There wasn't a lot of drama. So I think when the season finally starts, we see how these guys play. Like today, they're going to win. They're going to win behind Wheeler. And I'm predicting they may go 6-2 today.
You think there's going to be a big
Could
win?
be a 6-2 without today for the Phillies.
What do you think happens? Turner gets on base. Harper gets on base. Bohm gets on base. And then Schwarber. Grand salami from the cleanup hole.
Well, Bohm doesn't knock anybody in.
Game one.
First two guys get on. Bohm doesn't knock anybody in.
No, what's going to happen is
three hitters not swinging.
Turner's going to get a single. Harper's going to walk. Bohm's going to get hit by a pitch. And then Schwarber's going to go yard. And everyone's going to say, this is why he should be batting cleanup. I'm not predicting that. I just want to say.
If the first two guys get on, Bohm better.
Bohm better get a ribby.
Yeah, he better get a ribby. All right, let's go to the text board. And then we got Sean calling from Illinois. He wants to congratulate Bill on his tight.
Oh, this is my Sirianni love guy.
Sirianni love guy. What's the text board saying, Ray?
JB in Pottstown, when do we get to a point in professional sports where we are making the comments like if Rojas could just learn to play the game? And am I the only one disturbed that we are saying these things about professional ball players?
Yes.
Well, that's why Mike hates him.
That's why I hate it. I hate the whole thing. The first time I saw him, I don't know. Were you working with me? Probably not. First time I saw him, this guy's got. First of all, his bat's too big. Second of all, he's at the knob. He's swinging. Like, why? Oh, you got all this speed. Like, who are you that you're going to come up here and you're going to be a slugger? Like in the minor leagues, that should have been broken down. It's not. He's been allowed to come up to the big leagues that way, and he's not helping his team the best way.
Yeah, last year was frustrating when we heard coming into the season that Rojas had worked on his swing, and then he comes up. I'm expecting a nice short swing, trying to get on base. He was still swinging for the fence. He swings out of his shoes.
He likes to hit home runs. He likes himself. He really does. He's gotten so much praise that he actually buys his BS. Like he thinks he's a home run hitter, and he's the greatest fielder since Willie Mays.
Let me ask you about that. Do you think his fielding's a little overrated?
No, he can track a ball. There's no question he gets great jumps on ball. That's a skill. I get it. But once you make the catch, act like you've been there. Like it's not. There's guys that make great catches all over baseball, dude. You are a good outfielder. You made a good catch. All right, let's go. Now work on the other parts of your game. Be humble about the catch and lead to other parts of your game and start playing the game the right way.
Did you hear that, Ray? Mike just quoted Kendrick Lamar. Told him to be humble.
Yes. Famously the only person throughout history to tell anyone to be humble.
Let me tell you something. If I was on that team and I saw him doing that, looking at his replay on his great catch, who was in that club and say, yo, Holmes, bet down? That should have been Harper. Put it down.
That doesn't bother me as much.
How could it not bother you? Because you're not a baseball guy.
No, it just doesn't bother me.
You're just not a baseball guy. That's why it doesn't bother you. If you're in a dugout, it should bother you. If you're a leader of a team and that rookie's looking at that like he's the greatest thing since the ballpoint pen.
How do you know that's what he was looking at? How do you know he wasn't looking at? You know what?
At it.
You know what? I know I made a great catch, but maybe I broke.
He was smiling as he was watching it.
Yeah, oh, man, I really misread that ball, but I was able to make up for it.
Let's go to Sean from Illinois. Sean, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sean.
Gentlemen, how we doing today?
What's up, Sean?
Bill, you got to be having a fantastic morning, gloating with your blue ribbon this morning. That's awesome.
Allegations.
Yeah. You know what I want, Sean? I want Ray next break to play bump, 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 bump. The champ is here. Bump, 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 bump. And I'll walk into that, right?
I believe it's all coming. Good things come to those that believed in Sirianni and Hurts
there it
all
is.
year.
There
like
it is.
You and I. It all is coming back, and I know something good is about to happen to me, too, since it happened to you.
Well, you got engaged, didn't you?
I did. I'm getting married August 15th.
There it is.
Correct. And
listen.
good.
Your wedding's not going to equal me winning knockout, but it'll be close.
Sean, what do you do out there in Illinois? Do you own a company by any chance?
No, so I owned a bowling alley for 25 years, and now I work 2 days a week at an indoor golf simulator place, and I work.
Oh,
for
good. Can you take Bill out there with you? Since you guys love each other so much, can you get him out of my studio?
Mike loves me. Don't let him lie to you.
Woods Indoor Golf League, and we'll win that next two. You got it.
All right, Sean. Thanks for checking in. That's the last thing we needed with his head.
Sean's the best.
All right, there's Sean from Illinois.
Sean was a true Sirianni believer, though, all year. Got to give him credit. And he got engaged, getting married. What a year for Sean.
All right, we're going to take a break, and on the other side, hopefully we got that Stephen A. Smith. I got a lot of stuff to talk to Stephen A. about. He's been controversial this week. The Mike Missanelli Show continues. 97.5 Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silvana Kelleher. The best show
Mike Missanelli Show. A few minutes, we're going to hear from Stephen A. Smith. Hopefully he hasn't been pulled away. He's a busy man, you know.
Very busy man.
Yeah, totally busy man.
It's on soap operas now and everything.
Yeah, so there's a couple of controversies that we need to talk about, just for the people that haven't heard. He's got this thing going on with LeBron James. Now, I'm not so sure. He might be the only guy who could actually win a battle in this LeBron James thing.
Wait, a physical battle?
No,
Oh.
not a physical battle. Well,
Because it's almost they talked about the physical side of this too.
In the war of social media and going back and forth, he's not going to back down, even though LeBron is going to try to bully him that way, because LeBron's got clout throughout the league, right? But so does Stephen A. Stephen A's got clout throughout a lot of channels.
Yeah, Stephen A's got plenty of platforms.
So first of all, I want to ask you a question. When this first came about, after LeBron confronted him on the sidelines, if you were Stephen A., what would you have done?
In what respect? In the moment, or the way he handled it after the fact? You talking about when he actually got confronted on the court?
When he got confronted, would you have talked about it afterwards at all?
I think you had to.
You did?
I think Stephen A. had
because
to.
he has such a forum to talk. He talks every day. People would have expected him to address it.
Yeah, it would have been weird if he didn't address it.
Okay.
Now, I know Stephen A. said, I didn't want to have to address this, but now that the video has gone viral, I will. I don't necessarily believe him on that. I mean, I think he was going to address it either way, but I think he should have addressed it. I think you absolutely should. When you're Stephen A. and that happens and everybody sees it, yeah, you got to address what LeBron just did. Now, do you think LeBron was right for going up to him?
LeBron has to understand. Well, who am I to tell LeBron? It's his kid, right? So you're naturally going to protect your kid. But his kid is now in a venue where people are going to pay attention to that whole premise. And for him to be oblivious to it, to think that his kid's going to get kid gloves treatment when it appeared that LeBron orchestrated the whole thing about his kid being with the Lakers and pushing the narrative that he should be in the NBA and all that kind of stuff. And there's the opposite opinion that he shouldn't be in the NBA. And so there's going to be that push. For LeBron to be oblivious that people are going to look at it that way, I don't understand. He's smarter than that. He should know, all right, I know my kid's getting set up here for a lot of bad stuff. But the ultimate goal is for him to play in the NBA. We're hoping he can adapt and be an NBA star. I believe he can, so we're just going to have to take the noise. That's the mature way of looking at it for an ambassador to the league who's as well respected as LeBron is.
I'm going to give you my famous, you're not wrong. And you're not wrong, but I also did not have a problem with LeBron as a father confronting Stephen A. about saying stuff about his son. Not saying Stephen A. did anything wrong. But if LeBron, as long as he doesn't make it physical, to go up to a reporter or to Stephen A. and say something, whatever, that's in your right. You could say something to anybody.
During the game.
It still didn't bother me.
It's during the game. If you got a beef with him, can you not call him straight out? Like after the game, could you not get in his face?
So
like,
you think LeBron did it intentionally so it would be seen?
Total show. Of course it was.
Well, then, yeah, if that is in fact the case, and you make a good point.
What else could it be?
He could have done it at a different time.
He wanted to show everybody how tough he was.
Yeah. I just don't fault anybody if you feel a certain way and you want to address something. Like, he didn't have to make it physical. He didn't do what Joel did with Marcus Hayes. He just went out to him. He didn't push Stephen A. He didn't punch him. Didn't do any of that. He just said what he said. And I don't have a problem with that. You should be able to confront someone that you disagree with in a orderly fashion or whatever I'm thinking here, in a civilized fashion.
So what did Stephen A. actually say that was not being said by everybody? Like, what was LeBron's beef?
I've agreed with Stephen A.'s positions on this.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that Stephen A. did anything wrong, but I also don't think LeBron did by confronting him.
What is LeBron confronting? What is LeBron defending? What turf is he defending exactly? You're not allowed to talk about my kid in any form, even though he's an NBA player where everybody in the NBA is subject to criticism.
True. And I just think that and Stephen A. has said this as well. He didn't confront me as LeBron James the player. He confronted me as LeBron James the father. So if that's what he wants to do as the father, who am I to say, no, you can't confront somebody?
Because you're in a different platform as just being a father. You're not going to the school play and running into a guy who criticizes your kid because he couldn't sing. This is the NBA.
You saying my kid can't sing?
I'm saying it.
Is that what you're saying to me?
Everybody's making judgments on your talent level in the league. And when there's nepotism involved, there's got to be a jaundiced eye. And LeBron, of all people, should understand that.
And I agree with you. I don't think Stephen A. Smith did anything wrong by criticizing Bronny.
Well, then, but if LeBron was out of line.
But if LeBron has a problem with it, it's his right that he could say something.
You just said you don't think he said anything wrong. Well, then LeBron is out of line unless he wants to do it privately.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Where he
coming from?
He could have picked up the phone and called Stephen A. or confronted him.
Or he could have waited until after the game and said,
behind the scenes. Yeah,
come here. Listen, I'm just making a value judgment. That's what I do every day. I'm making a value judgment. I'm sorry it was your kid, but it's a value judgment here. This is what I do. This is my commentary. But when you do that in front, and I'm a LeBron guy, I like LeBron, all right? But when you do that during the game, you're going back into your huddle. The game's still going on. You do that in front, and during the game, you're making a show of you being tough and that and I'm LeBron James. How dare you even come my way?
I understand your point. I do. I understand your point. I think he had a right to confront him if he wanted to, but you're right. He probably could have done it behind closed doors instead of making a show of it. I'm actually agreeing with you. Look at this. Mike,
it took a while.
It took a while. Changed. Usually,
the argument swayed the jury, but it took a while.
Yeah, usually I draw a line, but no, I think I agree with you on this one.
All right. Anyway, hopefully we'll get Stephen A. to talk about it.
I don't like tardiness.
Mike Missanelli show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler will make his second consecutive opening day start and be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore. Because they're facing a left-hander, it's expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up the season. It's 3 down in D.C. today, Saturday, and Sunday before the home opener for the Phillies next Monday as the 2025 campaign gets underway. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games of the year. They're back in action tonight against Canadians at 7 o'clock. Danny Briere will address the media later on today at 5 o'clock. 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost, which kept the 76ers tied with them for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Coming up on today's show, we got Josh Shapiro coming up for you at 1:30 as he gets you ready for Phillies season. This update's brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. A Jackson Hewitt expert tax prep is now $149 or less. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/49-149. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Baseball season is here, and we have you covered. All the Phillies conversation analysis.
Has put together. Ray Dunn has put together statements that we should kick around. As Jamie Heath is going to join us at about 12:30 for his selections. We'll tell you what Jamie's about with the VegasMistake.com. But Ray, I thought you would start the fact or fiction with us right now.
Sounds good.
So give me a fact or fiction statement.
Trey Turner will bat leadoff for more than 30 games this season.
Fact.
I'm going with fact as well.
Both of you fact.
Yeah. And
No
maybe
debating
that's it. Not only do I want it, I actually think they're going to do it.
Now, I thought it was foolish that the plan was the platoon.
I think that's still the plan.
All right? You think it's still the plan?
I do.
I don't know. I think it's one of those guys that he's looking for a hot goalie. You know? I think if Trey hits well as a leadoff hitter, he'll try the other way around, but then he'll go back to Trey saying we're best here. But Trey's got to produce in that leadoff hole. I think he'll get the first shot to do it. We'll see.
Well, the first shot, meaning today.
Yeah. Is he in the lineup as the leadoff hitter?
That's the rumor. I haven't seen it confirmed
Okay,
yet.
it's not confirmed.
But then on Saturday, there's a right-hander on the mound most likely for Washington. So do they flip immediately and Schwarber leads off on Saturday?
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he does it that way and he finds out somebody who gets hot.
Yeah, but can you really figure out who's getting hot? Rotate every single day, platooning it, depending on who's on the
The guy
mound?
goes 3 for 4 in the leadoff hole. He's in there the next day, no matter what, and then it's his job to lose. Somebody's got to get a 3 for 4 as the leadoff hitter.
I hope you're right, but look, the Mackenzie Gore that's on the mound today, even though he's a lefty, has reverse splits. He actually pitches better against righties. So is Rob Thompson going to overthink it today and go with Schwarber?
And go with Schwarber? He might.
I hope not.
Because Schwarber hits good against lefties. He hit lefties well last year.
I just hope we see Trey Turner to start the season today.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Ray, what else you got?
All right. On top of that, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber will combine for 75 home runs.
Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber will combine for 75 home runs. I got fact on that.
I'm going fiction. It'll be under. It'll be closer to around 65, not 75.
I got 45 bombs for Schwarb.
What?
Yep. What did he have last year?
38, 39.
Oh, he did? Ooh. All right.
But hold on, Mike.
How about if we go 38 and 38?
That gets you 76. But 38, he hit as your leadoff.
Yeah.
Does he not focus on his OBP as much in the cleanup spot and try to hit more home runs? Maybe you're right that he gets to 40. 45 is a lot.
He's a bomber, though. He can get to 40. You know he can get to 40.
Which would mean Harper's got to hit 35. It's possible. I'm gonna go under there, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ray, number 3.
Number 3 here. The Phillies' postseason outfield will not be Brandon Marsh, Max Kepler, and Nick Castellanos.
Ooh.
Fiction.
So you believe it will be that?
It will be that.
I'm going to go. Oh, man. See, now I've said I'm hoping Brandon Marsh has a big year against lefties. I'm going to go fact because I think it may be more likely. This may get Mike excited.
Oh, you're going to go Justin Crawford?
Justin Crawford in center. If he comes up and he's performing well towards the end of the season, is
why
he
not?
your
They brought
postseason?
Rojas off from Double-A. Why wouldn't they bring a better prospect up from Triple-A?
And
good logic there, Bill.
Now, I kind of teased this yesterday, and I did not talk about it. There's also the potential, a bold prediction I saw was the Phillies trading for Arenado, putting him at third, moving Alec Boehm to first,
Yeah,
putting Bryce Harper back in the outfield.
I don't want Arenado. It's too old. I don't want an older player.
He is older.
Yeah.
But there's also that potential that if there's a player available that's not an outfielder, but an infielder, do you put Harper back in the outfield?
Well, we'll see. In the meantime, we got the NCAA tournament games that are still going, and our man from Vegas Mistake, Jamie Heath, joins us. Jamie, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Fantastic. All right, now VegasMistake.com. You focus on games where you believe the wrong team is favored. You identify plays where the point spreads you believe are significantly off. It's a great way of looking at this, and you got a performance promise for this weekend coming to Sweet 16. Tell the people about it.
Yes, we do. We have another performance promise, just like we did last week when we delivered to all of the listeners. 93 people responded from your station, and they were all rewarded with winners, and they made money, and that's the bottom line, is making money in this business. We got the Sweet 16. We got another performance promise. We have to go 3-2 or better. It's a $45 program, okay? Go to VegasMistake.com or dial 866-441-2711 and sign up just like your 93 listeners did last week. Make yourself some money on this. We got a total that we absolutely love, that we think is maybe 8 to 10 points off on a total tonight in the Sweet 16.
All right. So last week you went 4 of 5 with the performance bonus.
Yes, we did. We had a phenomenal week. We delivered on our promise, and again, we're going to do the same as this week. It's a $45 program. Again, we have to go 3-2 or better, or you get the Elite 8 on me.
All right. So when you look at these point spreads that may be off, and you're going to give us a game in a second, and the game.
I could give you some examples last week.
All right, go ahead.
2 games we capitalized when the games. Mississippi, Iowa State. The spread was 5.5. Iowa State. And I don't know who. Obviously, if you watch the game, Mississippi pretty much went wire to wire in that game. It was never in doubt. The wrong team was favored in that game. Mississippi is a very underrated team. They won the game outright going away. Same thing with St. John's and Arkansas. Arkansas was a 7.5-point dog. They won outright. So that's 2 examples. We had a couple of totals that we did really well with as well. And again, we love a total tonight.
Okay, let me ask you a question based on a play I like this coming weekend. I believe the line is a little off on the team you just spoke about, Ole Miss and Michigan State. I believe that's an Ole Miss line.
Mm-hmm.
Agree?
When you say it's an Ole Miss line, you're saying
I think that Ole Miss is undervalued in this game.
Okay, so you're feeling that the line should actually be lower than 3.5. You
yes.
think it should be like a 1-point spread or a pick'em spread?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Michigan State gets a lot of points for being Michigan State, is what I'm saying.
Well, of course, you got Tom. Obviously, you have Tom Izzo, who's one of the most highly recognized coaches for a good reason. He's been to the Sweet 16. He's won a national championship. I mean, he's a phenomenal coach. So yes, they get a lot of hype and they get a lot of recognition, and that's why the spread is the way it is. Mississippi, though, on the other hand, like you said, it's a good point. They have Chris Beard, and he's no slouch. He's a great coach, too. He took Texas Tech to the finals a couple of years ago against Virginia. I felt they should have won that game. They lost pretty much at the buzzer. But, you might have something there for sure. I mean, that's not a game I'm actually leaning towards tomorrow, but there are some games I do like tomorrow. Yes.
All right, now you have a game tonight that you like. Tell the people about it.
Well, first of all, just like last week, I gave you free plays. We had Michigan, which was a winner. We had Drake, which was a winner. We got unlucky with St. Mary's. They won the game by 3. They were actually up by 6 late in the game, and the other team, Vanderbilt, hit a couple threes to cover that spread. But I'm going to give you a free play tonight that I really like, and that's Alabama against BYU. I really like Alabama to cover the 5 points against BYU. You're talking about 2 teams that love to run and gun, shoot the threes, and I just feel like Alabama is the way more athletic team. Plus, they have Mark Sears, who's probably the best player on the court, and I just feel like Alabama is a little undervalued in this spot. They were a 2 seed. They could have very well been a 1 seed. BYU has been playing lights out as well. They beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin is not as athletic as Alabama is, and you're going to see that tonight. Alabama's going to run away with this.
Yeah, I actually like that play as well. All right, so here it is. Jamie is going to give. He's got his 5-game, $45 program. Each client gets the 5 best plays for Thursday, Friday, and you promise you go 3-2 or better with these selections, or you get the rest of the weekend for free. This is for new clients only, and you can get this VegasMistake.com or 866-441-2711. That's about the correct situation there, right? To VegasMistake.com.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Go to VegasMistake.com or dial 866-441-2711. Get these plays. Get them for $45. Again, we don't go 3-2 or better. You get the weekend on me, the Elite Eight, and don't forget we also have opening day in baseball. I'm very excited for that as well, and I do like your Phillies actually to surprise the world. I know the Dodgers are a huge favorite to win the World Series, but I actually have the Phillies.
So I laid a number tonight on Wheeler against the Nationals.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't like to lay that kind of wood on any game, especially an opening day game. But I love your starting 5 this year. Picking up Luzardo was huge. I like the Max Kepler sign up as well. That's been getting overlooked. I like the Phillies a lot this year. I really do.
Okay, sounds good. Jamie Heath from VegasMistake.com. Good luck to you, Jamie.
Hey, thanks a lot, and we'll speak again tomorrow.
All right, there it is, Jamie Heath. He's got 3 for 2. 3 for 5. Got 3 for 5.
And he said all the callers who called last week did pretty well.
Yeah. Well, 93 of them cashed in, apparently.
And how about that? He likes Luzardo. Yeah. He likes Kepler with the Phils.
Yeah. All right.
I like Jamie.
610-632-0975. You want to climb into a conversation about your Phillies? I know it's you're not really sure right now, but I want to hear what you think this team will do this year. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Sixers win. Play that song.
The Philadelphia Flyers.
Rebounded front. Backhand shot. They
Brought to you by Service First HVAC. They offer 0% financing for 48 months. They offer rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when you purchase a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. And, of course, you are listening to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. You know that?
I did know that. And guess what?
What?
We got a lineup.
Phillies lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. It's good news for a lot of people. Leading off for your Philadelphia Phillies, Trey Turner.
There it is. There it is.
Batting second, Bryce Harper.
Okay.
Batting third and playing third, Alec Boehm. In the cleanup spot where he belongs,
Warby.
Kyle Schwarber. Batting fifth, JT Realmuto. Batting sixth and playing left field, Max Kepler. Batting seventh, right fielder, Nick Castellanos. Batting eighth, Bryson Stott. And in the 9-hole, Brandon Marsh. This should be the lineup that he sticks with for an extended period of time. Let's see how it goes.
So today, Kenzie Gore has Kepler, Stott, Marsh, 3 of the Phillies' last 4 hitters in the lineup.
We talking about lefties?
Mm-hmm.
But like I told you, he's actually better against right-handers.
Kenzie Gore is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal that you have this many left-handed bats in your lineup.
We shall see. It's up to Stott, Marsh, and Kepler to determine how good he is.
Now, who takes some yard today? Anybody?
Yeah, there's going to be a home run. Why don't you go a guy? Go for your favorite guy.
I told you, me and Ray,
you're going,
as our prognosticator said, we're laying some wood.
You're going German.
No.
No?
No. John Tortorella got fired today. There's one person who's guaranteed to hit a home run. Ray, tell him who it is.
Casty for the end of Tortorella's coaching
There's
career.
no doubt. There is no doubt in my mind. I'm going all in on Nick Castellanos. What's the odds, Ray, for that to happen today?
I can tell you the odds from my trusty sportsbook.
Oh, well, I don't trust yours.
I like mine.
I trust mine.
I'm taking the odds from mine.
All right. Casty, home run.
All right, I'm looking. Hold on.
I'm going Kepi.
Oh, you're taking Kepler.
Kepi.
I have a friend that already put money on the Kepi home run today.
Yeah, I'm going Kepi for some reason. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 12 o'clock hour, and we got busy earlier, but we are not going to deprive you from a little thing called the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Oh, the news at noon. Pat McAfee gets LeBron James for an hour-long conversation. LeBron, we already told you about the Stephen A. Smith commentary, and we're hoping to get Stephen to retort on this, but he commented about somebody else. Let's hear it, Ray. What we got?
Yeah, he went after Windy.
Windy?
Brian Windhorst,
That's his man.
Why are you doing this? So, yeah, let's start with LeBron going after Brian Windhorst.
See a lot too. Like I seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like
Windy.
Yeah, you played with
Windy. You guys played together in high school.
Yeah,
right? He was on your high school.
this guy was like, says he's like my best friend. These guys are just weird.
Why you do that to Windy?
Wow.
Yeah, what's he going after him for? Of all people.
That's his best friend. Windhorst never played on no damn high school team.
No, he covered him in high school.
Yeah, he covered him in high school. That's how it was claimed to fame.
I'm a little, hurt. I'm a Windy guy over here.
LeBron telling the truth when he gets on these things, how he feels about people. Windhorst is crying in his beer right now. I thought I was his friend.
And I don't remember Windhorst saying anything about Bronny.
Yeah.
Anything negative, that is. I think Windhorst probably giving him props.
LeBron doesn't like people when people aren't in his inner circle that think they're in his inner circle. All right.
Come on. Why Windhorst, man?
Go next.
No need to do that unprompted. All right. This is now LeBron going after, maybe not going after, maybe the wrong word there, but Pat Riley. A lot's been made of him, obviously, with this Jimmy Butler saga. LeBron finally put to bed the infamous cookie story, which if you're not familiar with, LeBron James, big chocolate chip cookie guy. Not a very unique take by him, but used to get them all the time on the Miami Heat team flights. and then they were taken away. LeBron tells the story of how he found out he would no longer be served chocolate chip cookies on Miami Heat team flights.
There was a time where everyone knows I love chocolate chip cookies. It's like my my biggest vice. It was literally the plane that we were getting on. The ladies on the plane were making chocolate chip cookies. So they knew.
Man.
Yeah, so they were making them and bringing them because we had the same ladies all the time. You know, it was they would get on, and I would. Hey, soft with a little crispy edge.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. And I would get on, and they already knew. They'd bring me 2 cookies, and I'll get the gambling with the guys, and I got my cookies, and we good. And then one flight I got on, I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I'm like, oh, that look didn't look familiar. And I asked him, I was like, we got the, he was like, no, we're not allowed to, no more cookies on these flights.
What?
And we all know where it came from. I looked at D-Wade. D-Wade looked at me. He was like, basically, without even saying, he was like, Rouse done it again.
Yeah, Wade had revealed that story a little earlier. I love the McAfee being his Slurpee audience. Yeah, so you guys know I like to bleep with chocolate chip cookie. Who doesn't? Ladies were coming on and making. Oh man, come on.
But wait, did LeBron confirm that that's why he wanted out of Miami?
No, he didn't confirm that.
No.
But that's what Wade said. Wade said that was what fragmented the relationship, the cookie thing. Fragmented Riles and LeBron, the cookie thing. Yeah. Come on, man.
I mean,
how
good could those cookies
guys,
be?
Man, you guys, like I like to believe in chocolate chip cookie. Who doesn't?
Now, do you know there's actually something about the smell of chocolate chip cookies?
Oh, McAfee, don't make it obvious.
There's actually something about the smell of it that makes people, it puts them in a better mood. I'm dead serious with this. Like, if you ever go to Steven Singer Jewelers, they have chocolate chip cookies baking just so the smell fills the room, puts you in a better mood, makes you want to spend money. I had a lawyer friend of mine in West Palm Beach who do the same thing. You'd come into his lobby to meet with them. They had the smell of chocolate chip cookies going throughout the office because it puts people in a better mood to make decisions or something. There's like some weird thing about the smell of chocolate chip cookies for people. Sorry, I digress.
Oh,
that was fascinating.
My life has been enlightened.
Yeah, that was
Right, when you go to Steven Singer to buy your engagement ring one day.
I'm going to put on McAfee. Oh, that story was unbelievable. Great. Oh, really? Who doesn't love a chocolate chip cookie? Oh, my God. Did the ladies make them?
You are good, Mike.
Come on, man.
All right.
You're a great listener.
YouTube chat right now has got me also.
Come on, McAfee. Oh my God.
All right, last one here.
One?
We've had plenty of Stephen A. Smith conversation today. Jamel Hill went on with Dan Le Batard this week, just talk about a number of things. Stephen A. Smith came up, and she revealed a dating rule that she had back when she was at ESPN that involved Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, and a rule she set for guys that she would see that asked about them. Take a listen.
Long time ago when I was a single woman out here in the wild of dating, I had a rule that if I was on a date with somebody or in that kind of initial interaction where it's like, okay, this guy's cute, there's some level of flirting that's going on. If they asked me about Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless, immediately that dude was canceled. Immediately. Like, no, I don't want anything to do with you, because there is nothing more unsexy and unflattering than when you're talking to somebody who's a potential love interest, and you're like, oh yeah, so what are your hobbies? What are you, trying to get to know him, and they're like, so what's Stephen A. Smith like? I'm like, do you want to be on a date with Stephen A. Smith? Because this is doing nothing for me. Like,
well, she's right about that, to feel that way as Jamel Hill. But if you're dating somebody, they're probably a fan of the ESPN thing, right? It's where they're going. They know you through ESPN, so you're going to date them. So what's going to come up, the most compelling guys, is like, yeah, what's Stephen A. like?
I want to put it out to any woman on Hinge. I'm not taking any of your questions about Mike Missanelli. All right?
You better get used to it, man.
No questions about Mike on our dates.
Women your age have no idea who I am, man. None.
I get it. I obviously I'm not dating, but everywhere I go, one of the first questions is, yo, can I ask you something? How's Mike Miss off air? Without a doubt, that's the first question.
What? How am I on air? I come off very friendly on there.
Oh yeah, you're the best.
Yeah, but occasionally we'll mock people like
Occasionally,
like the chocolate chip cookie and the ladies. Occasionally I'll do that. Like,
no, but it is funny that the way you talk to me on air, no one ever says, "Oh, Mike must hate Bill," but it's Ray Dunn that hates Bill, not Mike.
Our YouTube chat saying Ray dumps any woman that brings up Mike or Bill.
Yeah, that's really what you're going to get asked about.
No comment.
Hey, Ray.
Who doesn't like chocolate chip cookie?
I actually think Ray would definitely dump a girl. She's like, hey, I got to tell you, I really like Bill Colarulo. He's great on that show.
Oh, man.
Never mind. I'm not saying anything more.
632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler make his second consecutive opening day start and be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore. Because they're facing a left-hander, it's expected that Trey Turner will bat leadoff to open up the season. And actually, the lineup has come out. Trey Turner is batting leadoff to start this season, so a little bit of a change for the Phillies at the top of the lineup to start the season. Season starts with 3 down at DC this weekend before the home opener next Monday. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw will be named the interim head coach for the season's final 9 games. They're back in action tonight against Canadians at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Danny Breer will address the media at 5 o'clock today. 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night, dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost, but kept the 76ers tied with them for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Coming up later on the show, Governor Josh Shapiro joins us at 1:30 to talk about the Phillies opening this season. This update's also brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. At Jackson Hewitt Expert Tax Prep is now $149 less. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/49-149. I'm Ray Dunham, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
John Kincade.
Look at the amount of money, John.
7. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Stephen A. Just contacted me. 1 o'clock. Stephen A. coming on. Got tied up with a couple things. Was on television.
Does he do that?
Yeah, he was on television for some other TV thing he was doing.
Gotcha. So I got him in. That's 2 minutes from now.
Just a couple minutes from now, so you don't not want to go away as we get ready for opening day. So what's your plan of attack for opening day? Watching baseball, you go home, you nestle in, you get the baby, you get all kinds of, you get all kinds of things going on.
Normally I would, but today's my wife's birthday. So happy birthday to my wife. Happy birthday. So we're going out to dinner. So I'll probably catch the first half of the game sitting on the couch, and then I'm going to have to pause it on DVR, not look at my phone. I'll go to dinner, come back, and I'll watch the rest without checking anything.
Well, that's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Your DVR pauses for that amount of time?
Well, I got YouTube TV, which is awesome. Especially, dude, during the NCAA tournament, the YouTube TV quad box is unbelievable. You watch all 4 games.
Let me ask you a question. How much you pay for that?
I'm bad with that, dude. I don't even look.
You don't even look?
I think it's over. I think it's over 100.
It's cheaper than cable.
I think it's over 100 a month.
So you cut cable completely.
Cut cable completely.
You got YouTube TV.
But you still need internet. So I still have my internet through Comcast, and then I have YouTube TV.
And what else? Do you get all the channels with YouTube TV? What
everything,
do you get?
Man. Everything.
You get every channel?
Every single one.
Well, then why wouldn't people do that?
I think people do. I think people do. Ray, you have YouTube TV, don't you?
I do. Yes.
You do?
I do.
I'm telling you, the quad box is far superior.
What's that cost a month?
It's a great question because I'm pretty sure we're taking it from one of the parents of the roommate.
Ray, you can't admit that on the air.
I will dump that audio.
Yeah, dump that.
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, can you get like Netflix and stuff? Oh, no,
well, I have Netflix.
Oh, you have Netflix. So you pay for Netflix?
I pay for Netflix.
Okay.
HBO, that whole thing.
All right. Anyway, you're listening to WPEN and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia. Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right. I mean, I'm going to have to do that. You know?
No, you really should. The way they have their quad box set up is awesome because
what is that? What does that mean?
So it's got all 4. Like, let's say there's 4 NCAA games going on. They split the screen into 4s.
Oh, really?
So you got all 4 games, but you can move the arrow so you can decide which audio you want to listen to depending on the game. And then if it's like, oh, I want to see that game big screen, you just click it, and then boom, it goes big screen. You hit back, it goes back to the four screens. It's awesome.
Okay,
it's awesome. By the way, while we're waiting for Stephen A, home run odds for today. I think it's a guarantee Castellanos goes yard, and I think Vegas is starting to agree with me. Castellanos opened at a plus 800 because Dylan McKinnon said he got him at plus 800 at a home run. Tortorella gets fired.
Yeah.
His odds are down to plus 600 to hit a home run. Vegas knows.
Really?
Yeah. So you're plus 600 for Casty. You're going Max Kepler plus 680.
Wow.
To hit a homer.
We're trying. So I'm texting back and forth with Stephen A. We just called his number, but he says, well, what number should I call? So what happens? What's going on, Ray?
I've been called.
All right. I'll try to tell him the inside line number, which I don't have. Let's see. I always forget the inside line number.
Just tell him to answer the 610
number. How we're trying to hook up here. Okay, inside. All right, so it's all right. Here we go. There we go. That's not a tone. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully he calls.
Hopefully he calls. So while we're waiting,
we're texting back and forth here and live texting.
It's live radio, baby.
It's live radio.
As we try to get him.
I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, so much to talk to him about. Really,
there really is.
Some hot topics. I think we got him. I think Ray's talking to him now.
So look at that. You know, Stephen A. is Ray's favorite personality ever.
I know. It's
look at him.
Favorite personality ever.
Oh, my God. I can't believe he's talking to him. Look at his face. He's getting red. He's got a grin.
Oh, he's not.
Look how happy he is.
He's handling it like
oh, my God. He's got sweats.
He's handling it like a professional.
Yeah, he is. Ray is always a professional. I'm only kidding. But Ray does love Stephen A. So this is a cool moment for Ray that he's talking to him.
All right. In any event, let's see. It is not like the old days where we could just get somebody on. You have to go through these parameters here.
Yeah, things are a little different.
To get somebody on, right?
Are we good, Ray?
Oh. I don't know.
We don't have you.
We don't have him.
Oh, here we go.
do.
We're good. We got Stephen A.
All right, we got us. All right, we're moving hanging in here for a long time for my man. So let's get him on. A lot of stuff to talk to him about. He, of course, is the great Stephen A. Smith joining us. Steve, how you feeling today?
Eminem, why are you bothering me, man?
I'm bothering you because you are.
I'm chilling out, and then I get phone calls from you. I'm like, good Lord, have mercy. What's up, man?
Because
how you doing?
you're all controversial, so I had to touch base with you with all this stuff that's going on around you these days.
Well, how am I controversial? I don't understand.
Well, let's talk
about. Really at a loss. What's controversial?
First of all,
last time I checked, it's just me. What's up?
First of all, congratulations on the contract, man. What is it, $300 million?
I'm not going to discuss a number, but it's a nice contract over the next 5 years. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's the guy. I heard it was $500 million for 3 years, but it's something like that. All right, so let's talk about the LeBron situation here, which is growing legs. He's coming back at you. You're going back at him. Let's go back to the start. All right, he does what he does. You address it, and then he comes back at you again by saying, "Man, you weren't going to talk about it." He mocked you, saying, "Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it." He couldn't wait to talk about it. What's up? What's going on with you two?
Well, look. Well, we don't like each other. Let's just get that out the way first. We don't like each other. We haven't liked each other for a long time. It is what it is. There's no love lost. I don't lose any sleep over him. I'm quite sure the same is for me, and that's that. As it pertains to this issue that involved his son, on January 29th, I went on first take after a struggling performance against the Philadelphia 76ers. And I basically said, yo, this is not good. I really believe in Bronny. I think that Bronny has tremendous potential. I think he's shown tremendous progress. But at that particular moment in time, it was clear that he just wasn't ready. And so because of that, I said, as a father, I'm talking to LeBron James, as a father, don't do this. And that's what's created this whole brouhaha. Because when I said as a father, him and several players perceived it as being personal. I'm not going for that. It would be personal if I was talking about what you're doing at your home in Brentwood. It would be personal if you were out in the street and off the basketball court. But when you are the reason your son is in the pros, when you are specifically the reason that your son is in a Lakers uniform, and you have circumvented the meritocracy of the NBA to get your way, and somehow, someway, eventually somebody points that out and says, stop. If you had the power to do all of that to get him in the league, you have the power to make sure he's protected from exposure prematurely because he was not ready at that time. That is what I was saying. And because of that, what he did was turn it into some kind of narrative about me attacking somebody's family. And that is when I said the gloves are coming off. I'm not tolerating it. You're not doing that to me. I mentioned nothing about Bronny James other than basketball, and I also said it's okay. A second-round pick, there's plenty of guys that takes years to get ready before they're in the NBA on a permanent basis. There's no crime in it. The issue is with other players, their sons come into the league or try to come into the league or whatever, and you see what they do and you go from there. It was LeBron that said in the record.
Well, when you said that, Steve, let me just ask this. When you said stop this, what did you mean? What did you want him to stop?
Stop having your son in a Lakers uniform on the pro level before he's ready. You have the influence to say, yo, he should be in the G League right now. He'll be ready soon, but not yet. You have the power to do that. Because by doing otherwise, not only are you exposing him to the public, you're exposing him to us in the media. And then we got to call it like we see it. But we're trying not to do that because we know he suffered a heart ailment. We know that he's been inhibited from progressing to the pace that he may have otherwise progressed had he not suffered the heart ailment. We know that there are people out there questioning the legitimacy of his NBA aspirations. So all of these things were touched on because you said, quote, my son is better to some of the NBA players right now, A. And B, you said, if you want me, draft Bronny. At this point in time, it ain't about money. I just want to play with my son. You said that. You can look anywhere else in NBA history, any players or whatever. You can look at professional sports. Tell me when somebody has said that. Tell me when somebody has been put in a position where they can circumvent the meritocracy of a league just to take care of one of their children. Tell me when that's happened. As a player, it hasn't. And so my point was in bringing that up, but they're trying to act, or he's trying to act and spearhead this movement like I'm talking about him as a father. I'm at home with his family. No, I'm talking about the father who was running his mouth about his son.
So basically, you're saying as long as he's in the NBA, he's subject to the same scrutiny everybody else is, and LeBron is looking at it like, no, that's my son. You can't do it to my son.
And that's my point. So when he's saying all of these things, these are the things that I was pointing out. And I just said it, and I only said it one time. But it was after they got blown out by the Philadelphia 76ers. It was after Tyrese Maxey and them brothers had dropped about 41. It was after he was seen playing in the first quarter when everybody at the time knew he had no business playing in the first quarter. And we're like, what you doing? You don't bring him in here to get him exposed like this. It's going to be bad. And that was all I said. And I never touched it again. A month, 5 weeks later, I'm at the Knicks-Lakers game, and the dude rolls up on me on courtside, and he's talking about stop shitting on my son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I didn't say anything because I didn't know what he was talking about. He came and said, stop shitting on me as a father, I would have known exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, we got to watch the curses.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would have been like, that's you. I would have been like, that's you. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about your son. Yeah. I'm talking about you. But I didn't know what he was talking about, and then he didn't give me a chance to explain. I told him I'd meet him in the back after the game. He was like, F that, stop pooping on my son, blah, blah, blah. And then he walks away and looks directly up. And lo and behold, that was the same camera angle that took the footage. So he knew exactly where the camera was going to be.
Yeah. And
I said, ain't this a blip?
Yeah, so you said, what do you want? What am I supposed to do at that point? You want Chris Rock and Will Smith? You say you wouldn't have gone down like that. You would have got your ass kicked, but you would have immediately swung on him.
If somebody hits me, listen, let me take LeBron out of the equation. If I was Chris Rock and Will Smith had walked up there and slapped me, I promise you need to go to commercial immediately. I promise you that. He's not getting out that building without an altercation.
I hear you.
You don't slap me in public. That's all I'm
saying. Yeah, I got you. I
beat 6'8", 250-pound LeBron James, but you're not gonna slap me. So I was just saying that to say I was never worried about him. Plus, he would have made me a very, very rich man because the minute he had done that, I would have collected a whole bunch of dough because he might have gotten into something, but I still would have sued him.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You're not a very rich man right now, so that would have helped.
That
would help put something in the kitty. So like, why do you dislike each other? Like, what's the genesis of the whole thing?
Just a long history from the standpoint of. From the moment he choked in the NBA Finals against Dallas, and I called him on it, and the way that he would act towards me since that moment in time, we just never really connected with one another. And as time goes on, you cover the league, and you know this just as well as anybody. You hear people chirping behind your back. You hear people trying to influence other people's opinions about you and stuff like that, and it just deteriorates from there. So it just got to that point where, listen, we say hi and bye. We keep it, nodding in the head, and we keep it moving. Occasionally, we might have shook hands over the years, but that was about it. And I didn't need to talk to him.
Well, this is. I tell you, for all journalists, media and sports journalists, this is still going good. You guys with this feud, we can keep following up on it. But I got to ask you about another thing that leaked this week, and this was this producer, segment producer, this guy named Ryan Bertrand, who called you an angry black man. Now, first of all, what is an angry black man?
I don't know. I guess somebody that's loud, that's not smiling enough. I mean, I often have marveled how so many white contemporaries in this industry can be loud and passionate, and they're labeled passionate. But somehow, some way, it's a black man doing it, and I'm angry. I can assure you, I have very little to be angry about at this moment in time in my life. Very, very little. That's number one. Number two, I don't know who this person is. I've never seen him. I've never talked to him. I've never worked with him or whatever. ESPN called me to inform me about it, and I said, what are y'all calling me for? And they said, this is not good. We're just letting you know we're dealing with it. It's an HR matter. And I said, y'all do what y'all want, but don't get rid of him on my account. I could care less. I said, I'm Stephen A. I'm accustomed to taking hits. This means absolutely positively nothing to me. So I don't care what he says. There's plenty of people that have criticisms or whatever. I'm not losing any sleep over it. I don't know the guy.
But this is a member of the family. This is a member of the ESPN family who did this.
Well, stop that nonsense. You and I both know there are people, we work in big companies, and there's plenty of people we don't see and we don't know. I don't know this. Do you understand that I work for ESPN, and I've been to Bristol, Connecticut, ESPN headquarters, twice since 2018?
Wow.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm not there. We work out of New York. I'm not there. I don't know them. I work from New York. I work from LA. I don't know these people. So somebody talk about how the staff feels about or what. I don't know. I know that I'm the executive producer of First Take, which has been number one for the last 13 years and counting. God has blessed me and us with that achievement. Hopefully it will continue, knock on wood. But I don't know anything beyond. I don't know this guy. And I don't know most people that work in that building. And to think that I'm supposed to is foolish.
All right. I got you. The last thing I want to talk to you about, I got your text about the New Yorker doing that story of Stephen A. Smith for president. You going to be president? I mean, could that possibly happen?
Look, man, I'm not thinking about that right now. I just signed a new deal. I'm very happy with the deal. Along with the deal, I have a multitude of freedoms to do a lot of different things for my production company or what have you. I have a lot of my rights that I normally did not have as an employee of the company over the years. So the sky's the limit. I've never thought about politics. I've never had any interest in politics. I believe politicians are professional beggars. They always need something from somebody. And I don't live my life like that. So I can't possibly fathom being remotely interested in being a politician. I love talking politics. I love giving social commentary. I love talking about real life issues that affect the average everyday American, no matter what your ethnicity is. So when I think about platforms, I think about the Joe Rogans of the world, the Sean Hannitys of the world, and various others that have these multitude of platforms, even a Bill O'Reilly to a lesser degree, that are very formidable platforms that you have to pay attention to when you're talking about politics. I think about that long before I think about being a politician. But I must confess, I am intrigued at the notion of being, let's say for the sake of argument, a Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States. I am interested in being in a position where I get to stand on a stage and debate some of these candidates. I wish that I could do that without even thinking about being president. I would salivate.
Well, listen, man, if you get to be president, you put me in your cabinet. You could do worse than me.
Well, I'm not going to put you in my cabinet. I'm not going to put you in my cabinet.
Where you going? You going to put that nephew of yours in your cabinet?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Hell no. Hell no. But I know this much. If I put you in there, you'd have the media coming after me even harder.
Oh, hell no. I'm
something like that. You would not do a great job. You would not do a great job at that because you would offend a lot of people.
No, I'd be great. I'd be great.
To galvanize. Bring people together.
I'd be Secretary of Intelligence.
Bring people together. I'm just telling you for me. I'm not thinking about it. But if somebody came to me in a couple of years to 3 years and they say, "You're Stephen A," all seriousness, you got the best shot to be the presidency of the United States, I still would probably say hell no because I like my life so much. But I'm not going to completely dismiss it.
Serve America. That's what I say, Steve. Listen, man, thanks for checking in. I know it was a busy day for you. Thank you.
No problem, man.
All right, there he is. Stephen A. Smith.
A lot of good stuff in there.
How about that? They don't like each other.
Nah.
Abroad.
No, they did not like each other, he said. I mean, it's obvious.
LeBron is one of those guys that unless you're deferring LeBron, he's not going to like you. And Steven, to his credit, he stands up against everybody, really, at times.
Yeah, and he didn't rule out presidency. He said probably wouldn't run for president.
I'm in.
Probably.
To complete my legacy. Cabinet member.
I just want to ride on Air Force One.
Floating around D.C.
Just bring me along for the ride.
Secretary of Intelligence. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Thursday, March 27th. It's opening.
1 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show. Stephen A. You just heard it. Coming up in about 7 minutes' time, the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, Josh from Juniata, checking in for his take on the Phillies. And I told his guy, Will, that I'm going to ask him about the Sixers because he's a crazy Sixer fan. And Will says, fair enough, you just might have to bleep them.
Oh, man.
So, Ray?
Well, Ray already used the up button twice.
Apparently, the governor is also not happy with the state of affairs for your Philadelphia 76ers, who I want to laud for last night. I didn't think there was any way they're going to lose to the Washington Wizards, the worst team in basketball. But lo and behold, they crafted a game plan that allowed them to lose the game. So credit to Morey for bringing up two guys on 10-day contracts, two guys I've never even heard of, and they come off the bench first, and they play 35 combined minutes, and you play Ricky Council almost 35 minutes. You get his in there, his contributions in there, and it all amounts to another loss. Tremendous work by the Sixers last night, Bill.
It was tremendous.
And, Bill, you were so inspired that you go out post-game and win the station knockout tournament.
I was very inspired by the product that I saw before knockout. And I just delivered. Look, I was just going through with the YouTube chat because it's like, look, I talk trash, but I back it up. There's other people at this station that talk trash, and then they get out there and they embarrass themselves. You know?
There's a lot of trash talkers here. The young kids are trash talkers here in this building.
I mean, really, for a guy who has not shot a basketball since last year's knockout, going on a year, to come out and dominate the way that I did of guys.
It's not true. You shot that morning.
Yeah, but it was still a year. I practiced that morning with Coach Miss.
Uh-huh.
These guys play like Ray, Connor, Andrew. They do like Wednesday night games. They're out there practicing all the time. I mean, come on. Ray.
Ask anyone at those runs. I do not shoot at those runs. Much better shooters on those runs. I'm there for the effort. I'm there for the cardio.
What about when you were traveling with the Temple Women's? Do you ever get on the court?
I actually don't shoot around as much as I should. I should take advantage of it a lot more. I will say I did take some free throws on Leah Core's floor sometime in February with the thought of knockouts coming up, and I should probably see if I can even shoot.
Yeah, like see in the YouTube chat, Dave, Bill embarrasses himself daily. How'd I embarrass myself? Talk trash,
Listen
went
to
out,
you talk right now.
and won the damn thing. Did you see this ribbon, Dave? Is this embarrassing? Do you see this blue ribbon?
Mike, I just want to point out that at some point in this show, he dropped the line, act like you've been there before, and he is not acting like he's been there before.
No, you knew. See, that's why last night I said, oh, my God, if he wins, he's going to be insufferable. But he wasn't as insufferable as Zach Wheeler played for the Sixers last night.
I actually think Zach Wheeler would have did better.
Zach Wheeler played for the Sixers. He played 15 minutes for the Sixers last night. Was 2 of 9. And John Bagley played for, no, it was Marcus Bagley and Philip Wheeler last night for the Sixers. Congratulations to those guys making their NBA debuts.
RC4, though, was a beast, wasn't he?
RC4. 4 for 14, 1 for 8 for RC Cola. All right, coming up, the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, for his views on the Phillies and the Sixers. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day is here. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. The Phillies open up their 2025 campaign with the Washington Nationals today at 4:05. Zach Wheeler make his second consecutive opening day start. Will be opposed by lefty Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. Because they're facing a lefty, Trey Turner batting leadoff for the Phillies to open up the season. Open up the season with 3 down in D.C. today, Saturday, and Sunday before the Phils come home for the home opener next Monday, opening up the 2025 campaign. In Flyers news today, the team announced that head coach John Tortorella was relieved of his duties. Associate coach Brad Shaw has been named interim head coach for the season's final 9 games of the year. They're back in action tonight against the Montreal Canadiens at 7 o'clock. Danny Briere will address the media coming up at 5 o'clock. 76ers lost 119-114 to the Wizards last night and dropped to 23-50. The Nets also lost which keeps the 76ers tied for the 5th worst record in the NBA. Earlier on today's show, Stephen A. Smith joined us to talk about all things going on in his world and in the sports world. You catch that conversation one more time at 975thefanatic.com. And coming up, Governor Josh Shapiro joins us in the next segment. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, it's hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 975 The Fanatic and 975thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip?
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We are just about 2 hours and a half away from opening another baseball season. Baseball season is very interesting. What it's going to entail for the Philadelphia Phillies. And We're about to have the great governor of the state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, coming on. Do we have him? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, he is known to the sports populace in this town as Josh from Juniata. Mr. Juniata, how you doing, bud?
What's going on, Mike? It's good to talk to you.
Good to
opening day, baby.
It is opening day. I know you're excited about opening day. And you know Trey Turner's the leadoff hitter today. So I want to know how you feel about the Phillies this year coming into this season. What do you think about Trey Turner being your leadoff hitter?
I like it. Look, obviously Schwartz was awesome as a leadoff hitter, but we got to get Trey going early. And if Skip thinks this is the best way to do it, then I believe in him. I trust him. And I know he wants to kind of do a little platoon based on righty-lefty. We'll see how that goes. But I think we got to get Trey started and get him hot. So I like that. And I just think overall we're a better team. I mean, I like Kepler in left field. I think we've upgraded there. I think we got the best pitching staff top to bottom, 1 through 5. I feel good about that. So I like where we are. We got a lot of power in this lineup. And so I'm psyched for the Phils.
All right, so what can go right, obviously, is their starting staff is pretty deep, and then you got a minor league guy that may come up in midseason, and the hitters are the same. A lot of people say, well, they didn't freshen it up enough. Yeah, Kepler's one thing, but they don't really have a right-handed power bat. What could go wrong for the Phillies, Governor?
Yeah, I mean, look, my glass is half full, Mikey Miss. Come on. I feel like we're in a good spot here, and the bats got a little bit cold at the end of the season there. I think that's what prompted the early exit. But I think overall this is a strong, consistent team. They know how to win. They trust one another. Throughout a long season like this, someone's going to be hot, someone might get cold, guys are going to have to pick up after one another. Having that trust on the team, I think, makes a huge difference. I don't know of another team in Major League Baseball where you've got 3 or 4 guys who are legitimate power hitters who could bat in that cleanup spot, right? I mean, you got Schwartz, you got Harp, Real Muto, Castellanos gets hot, and, he can go deep. I just really think this is a power-hitting team. If our pitching stays healthy and doesn't get burnt out, I really like our chances. So I trust Dombrowski, absolutely trust John Middleton. He has done what he needs to do to give this city the opportunity to win a World Series. I love his ownership style, and I'm feeling really good about where we are.
We're talking to the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. All right, Josh, let's cut to the chase here because, people preseason have been, okay, we almost have to wait till October. This is a Phillies team now that's gone to the post many times. They got to the World Series, and then they dropped off in the NLCS, and then they lost that first-round game. So the trend in the playoffs is not good. Do they have to get it done this year? And if they don't, what happens?
I hope they do get it done this year, as everybody listening does. And I think they've got what it takes. I think the front office has put together a great team on paper, a team that is capable of winning the World Series. It's a long season, right? 162 games. You got to be able to stay focused. You got to be hot at the end when it matters most. I don't love the Major League Baseball rules about the buys in the opening round. I think teams get a little cold as a result of that. But, the rules are what they are. We got to just sort of deal with it. Hopefully we go into the playoffs hot, and I think this team can go all the way. I choose not to think about what happens if they don't go all the way. I'm an optimist here. I think we got to.
I get it. We have to consider that part of it, though. We that's a talking point for us because it's all or nothing at this point. Now I got to ask you about the Sixers, and I've ran this by your man Will. And he said, "Okay, that'd be fine, except make sure you have your hand on the bleep button as far as your evaluation of what is going on with the Sixers." Now, I was down there last night. I thought the governor that they orchestrated a loss beautifully. At this point, you got to orchestrate losses. They did it last night by playing 2 guys from I don't know where they came from on 10-day contracts to eat up 35 minutes. So they got the necessary L. But, all kidding aside, this has been a very hurtful season, I guess, for you.
No, it's awful, and it just makes me angry. It just, as a fan, just pisses me off that we're in this situation. And I got to tell you, I mean, we have some serious decisions to make in the off season here. This is not working. And yes, we've been banged up, we've been hurt, but I warned. I said this publicly. I warned others publicly. I didn't love the Paul George trade. I thought that a big three doesn't really win anymore. I think you need to have a whole bunch of 3-and-D fast young guys who can surround Joel, who can surround Maxey, who can go out and compete. Look at the teams that are competing and winning right now. Look at OKC. Look at Cleveland. I will not utter the word Boston Celtics, so I will not put them in that conversation because we hate the Boston Celtics. But this is the way teams are winning right now, and it's not us. This is not where we are. So if we can get one of those top 6 protected picks, that gives us some options to maybe move some contracts around, which is going to be really tough. Daryl's got his work cut out for him. And we got to figure out a way to come back. We got to figure out a way to come back quick. We cannot go into like a long rebuilding process here. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but I think I speak on behalf of all Sixers fans. We are frustrated. We are annoyed that Joel, who is one of the most extraordinary athletes, albeit one that's hurt right now, is being sort of wasted in this situation. He's got to come back healthy, and we got to make sure he's surrounded with people who can help him win, along with Tyrese Maxey. I mean, at the end of the season, we've got, it's nice that Grimes is playing well. Maybe he'll be part of the future. Maybe he'll be trade bait. I don't know, but they got to figure this out, and they got to figure it out real quick.
I have never seen a season like this in my life, and I've been doing this for a really long time. All right, you still got the Eagles hangover? You're still feeling good about that?
Incredible. I mean, it's just like unbelievable. And, how he's out there tinkering like he always does. He's a master. I'm sure he's figuring out areas where we might have been a little weaker going into a long season with some of those guys. So he's figuring out what needs to be tinkered with. I love that. I'm just so bullish on the Birds. I love the way they have this winning franchise mentality. And by the way, I really think that the approach the Birds have taken in the front office is somewhat analogous to what the Phillies are doing. I really do. I mean, I think you've got an owner in Middleton who's investing now and in the future, and the city has to appreciate that. And I think Dombrowski is terrific. He's doing what he needs to do. So I think there's a lot of similarities there between those two teams, and I think that the Eagles' victory and the Eagles' mindset, the Eagles' approach to excellence is hopefully going to be infectious with the Phil season here, and hopefully have some impact on the Sixers as they figure out what comes next.
All right, Gardner, I had fun talking sports with you, but I got to ask you a serious question here. It has nothing to do about sports. What is your opinion about war plans being shared on a messaging app?
It's sloppy. I think it's disrespectful to our soldiers. It put our troops' lives at risk. These people need to be better. These are serious jobs. You wouldn't take that if it was happening in your company. You wouldn't accept that if it was happening in your organization. I wouldn't accept that if it was happening in our state government. And we're not handling the nation's national security secrets. These people need to apologize. They need to stop lying about what they did. Come clean, accept responsibility, and tell us how you're going to move on and protect the nation's secrets.
Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona called for Pete Hegseth to resign. Are you with that?
Look, I'll leave that up to the president to decide who he should be surrounded with, and for the United States Senate and others to make their decision. That's outside my lane. I just know that any CEO, any business leader, any community leader, any governmental leader knows that type of conduct, that type of sloppiness with critically important information is just simply not okay.
Governor Josh Shapiro, give me your win total for your Phillies.
162-0.
All right.
By the way, isn't it the greatest thing? the Phils win tonight, and everybody's going to be calling you up after the game going, they're never going to lose a game. And if we lose tonight, they're going to panic and think, oh, my God, we're never going to win a game. Look, this is a hell of a team. I mean, this is a team that's capable of winning 100 games. This is a team that's capable of finishing in that top spot in the National League, first or second in the National League. So I'm really optimistic. I'm feeling really, really good.
Josh from Juniata, always a pleasure. Don't be a stranger.
Great to be. I won't. See you, Mike.
All right, thank you. There you go. There's the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
All right, fact or fiction? The Phillies will go 162-0.
No, but he's right. If they win 9-2, right, tonight, and they bash and Wheeler's untouchable, they're this team, I can tell you.
Yeah, people will be excited.
Yeah, all right, take a break. We'll come back to the home stretch. Mike, Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitale.
97, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Let's go through the lineup again here, Billy. Trey Turner is your leadoff hitter. What's he do?
You going on the day or his first at bat?
On the day.
I'm going 2 for 3 with a walk.
2 for 3 with a walk. On base 3 times?
That's right.
A stolen base or 2?
I want to see a walk by him. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see him get on base by being patient at the plate with a nice walk, and then he steals second. And then Harper drives him home. Wouldn't that be nice?
All right. Harp. What's he do today?
Harper's going 1 for 4 with a ribby.
1 for 4 with a ribby. Single, double. What is it?
Just a single today. I think we're going to see Harper's going to work his way into form.
Schwarb. Bomb?
You skipped Alec Bohm.
No, I did.
Oh, it was intentional.
I'm just going through certain guys.
I don't think Schwarber goes yard today.
No bomb? Castellanos bomb.
Casty goes yard.
You got Castellanos with a bomb because Tortorella got fired.
Wow, Schwarber's a plus 390. Best odds on the day to hit a home run of anybody. But I still don't think he goes yard.
No, huh? All right, Stott. What's he do? Couple knocks?
I'm going out on a limb. A 4 for 4 day from Bryson Stott today.
I'll take the under.
4 for 4, Ray.
For Stott?
For Stott.
Yeah, I'll also take the under.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I know. There's a lefty on the mound, too.
That's not happening.
I'm going 4 for 4.
All right, now let's go down to the Brandon Marsh area because this is very important. Brandon Marsh. I know it's the left-hander, and the splits, he's better against righties. I get it, but Brandon Marsh has to hit lefties, and this is his first test.
He'll get a hit. He'll get on base
One hit?
once. Yeah, he'll get on once.
All right. I'm looking at one more projection. Now, this guy, Keith Law, is an analytical guy. He's usually evaluating players in the minor leagues. But he also has projections. So in the National League East, he has the Atlanta Braves projected to win 94 games. Second place, he's got the New York Mets to win 92 games. Third place, he's got the Fightin' Phils with 90 wins. All right, so keep those two, the Mets and the Phillies right there. I want to see if that is enough for a wild card. That's good. The Cubs will win that division. The Brew Crew, can the Brewers win enough games to get into that hunt for that second wild card spot, according to his projections?
It's going to be close. No. I don't think so, though.
No. 84 wins.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
He's got for them.
Not if, the Mets, the Braves, and the Phillies.
All right. No, so let's go now to the West. Dodgers will win that division. The next team in the wild card hunt would be a 90-win Arizona Diamondbacks team, which means one thing, the tiebreak. The Phillies have to win the tiebreak, right?
Phillies have to win the tiebreak.
No. Could there be 3 wild cards?
No,
so yeah, okay. That's what the Padres, however, if they get in there, those are the 2 teams you got to look at as tiebreak potential.
I'm thinking it's going to be the Diamondbacks over the Padres because I think they got a better
Diamondbacks are projected to win 90 games by this measure. That's a lot of wins for the Diamondbacks.
They got a good pitching staff.
All right, playoff predictions. Arizona beats the Mets in the wild card.
I could see that.
The Phillies beat the Chicago Cubs. So he's saying they get the last spot. That's the last wild card spot, right? You would play the worst division winner.
You would. So there he's got the Phillies
he's got
as
to play in the Cubs.
Which means then the Phillies would not have to play the Dodgers, right?
They play the Dodgers in the next round.
They would play the Dodgers.
3-6 would play the 2 seed.
The 2, which would not be the Dodgers.
Which is not
that. Oh, well, he's got divisional round. Los Angeles Dodgers defeat Philadelphia. Divisional round. Wild card round, Philadelphia defeats the Chicago Cubs, and he's got Dodgers defeat Philadelphia. So somehow that's what the matchup would be.
Okay, Keith.
Keith Law wouldn't get it wrong.
No. So
the seedings
reseeding's happening this year? Did we miss that?
The seedings, it must happen. We missed it. All right. Well, in any event, we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. A lot of people don't like us talking about what can happen in October when you got a whole Philly season upon us and it tips off at 4:05. I love afternoon baseball. Just love it.
Is 4 o'clock what you like, or you like a 1 o'clock
No,
start?
I like a 4:05 start. And also, no Friday game, right?
No
Friday.
I hate that. They always build in the day off.
Yeah, well, because of rain.
Yeah.
So they got to have the home open.
And Ray's going Saturday.
You be there at the park?
I will be. Nats Park, first time for me.
Really? Taking the train down there with the fellas?
Nah, I'm driving.
You driving down there? I'll take a train, man. What's wrong?
I want to be able to control my departure time. I don't like to be at the mercy of someone else's schedule.
All right. Thanks, everybody who listened to the show today. Thanks for Stephen A. for coming on. Thanks to Governor Josh Shapiro. We had a lot of fun today. Hope you guys did, too. Have a great rest of the night, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Opening day.